Hello, hobby friends. How are we today? Mic check, I guess. Just want to make sure. It looks like I'm functioning and everything is working. Howdy, Science Pie. Louis, I see you're with us. And Gil, nice to see you there too. Sorry, bit distracting because I have the window open so I can see the delay as it happens. But anyway, how is everyone today? How are you doing? What are you working on? Welcome to Webway Weekend Hobby Hangout number 4. That's 8. Number 4. There you go. That makes a lot more sense. Today, we will do what we always do. We will talk about Eldar. We will look at Eldar things. Some naughty people might do un-Eldar-y things, but we won't hold that against them. Oh, look at that. Old Paint is here. Good evening, Baharoth. Good evening, good evening. Mr. Mechanical Paul. The wife is out with friends and the girls are in bed. Oh my. Yes, and there you go. There's one of these naughty people that does non-Eldar-y things at the Webway Weekend, but that's fine. We'll allow it. We'll allow it. And AJ Hunter. Hello, hello. So you may not know this if you haven't been to one before, but if you are painting Eldar-y things, there is a link in the description which is for a Discord server where you can post images of what you're working on. There you go. That sentence took me a little while to get out. There might be a few more of those tonight. Just warning you. So yeah, if you click that link, I'm not sure if the link jumps you directly to the Webway Weekend channel on the Eldar Discord server, but if it doesn't, scroll down in the modelling and hobby section. There is a channel called Webway Weekend where you can post pictures of the things you're working on and look at pictures of things that other people are working on, and isn't that exciting? So in terms of Eldar, you know, we've kind of come off of the edge of the extreme releases that we had, so everything is out now. Let me just close that door so that my husband doesn't have to listen to my voice more than usual. Everything is out now. Well, everything that we know of, right? There may be more lurking somewhere, perhaps. Who knows? But that means that we can all start slaying the grey, right? We can all start ploughing through it. I'm looking for... No, that's not it. I was going to show you the star of the show, but who I haven't started painting yet. But I seem to have misplaced him. Oopsie. The theme for today was going to be Kane, right? Because he was kind of, I think he got released just before the last stream, but we were still sort of excited about Pirates at the last stream, since that was kind of the Kane release sort of came after we'd scheduled everything. So the theme was going to be Kane. I was thinking of painting Kane live today, but I'm afraid I've been a little bit bogged down with work and commission painting, not Eldar stuff, I'm afraid. Boo. So I haven't quite gotten around to him yet. I found like 2.5 minutes to build. Should we swap over to the other camera? Should we do that? That would be exciting, wouldn't it? Let's do that. Ready? Bam, 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 bam. I did find 5 minutes to build this guy, which I absolutely love these. I'm just going to bring this down a little bit since I can put that camera in front of my face now that you're probably less interested in my face. There you go. I really love these. I mean, especially compared to the old ones, let's be real. But there's something about that helmet which does it for me. Look at that. Well, it's gorgeous. I love it. And I love all of these trailing flags as well. So I spent a long time trying to get it right and then didn't. Trying to get them all kind of straight and aligned. But the only thing so far that has made me a little bit sad about this model is just how impossible it is to do a good job of putting that arm together. I'm not... modelling is not like my favourite bit of the hobby anyway, at the best of times, but that was a real pain. So anyone who's got tips on how you can do that better, please let me know. I mean, I suppose pinning's an option, but it seems a bit extreme if I'm just going to be plastic gluing it anyway. There must be, or maybe I need to pull out. I do have one of those little like holdy clippy things with funny arms that that you normally use for soldering and electronics and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I need to work out how to do that better, so I would love some advice on that. What I am working on, though, is not that, because as you may have seen from the thumbnail for this live stream, we are going 100% airbrush free tonight, so you don't have to put up with the sound of my compressor tank for and also my neighbours, God bless them. I live in an apartment, and probably in retrospect, running my air compressor at like 10 p.m. at night was not the friendliest neighbour thing I could have done. So I'm working on these instead. Let me do this. That should help us a little bit with focus and what have you. There we go. Look at that guy. Ain't he pretty? I'm going to bring that down even a little bit more. Excuse the dodgy camera work. These are Fire Dragon alternatives from Artel, which I'm sure we all know of, and if we don't, then you can check them out, although let's not get into politics, but it may be difficult to procure Artel miniatures at the moment given their country, their location, but maybe not, I don't know. I know that some of the other folk in that part of the world have found other ways of getting their miniatures out, and even I know one company that are moving. They've decided they are sick and tired of their homeland and want to be out of it, so that's interesting. But anyway, no politics, as I said. This guy's from Artel. He's I think they call him a Fire Drake, I think they call it, or something like that. Anyway, it's a Fire Dragon. Shh, don't tell GW. Yeah, I don't mind the GW Fire Dragons, but I don't really want GW resin. It's a pain in the backside. And as you can see, we've already made some progress on this chappie. I will go through what I did on him so far in a bit, because I think it's relatively interesting. Maybe I'm kidding myself, but there you go. Yeah, it's going to be all about finishing him up and fixing crud like that stain mark there. Whoops. Perhaps not the best one to have picked to show off, but anyway. So what are you working on? I want to know. Post it in the Discord. We're going to have a look at it. It's going to be a good time. I'm going to catch up with chat. Yes, painting Black Legions, the trim. I've got an idea for trim that I want to test out. I mean, I think it can't be new. It can't be a new idea, but I'm curious to see if it works, so I'm going to give it a go, and I'll let you know how it goes. A way to make trim go a lot faster on those bloody Chaos Marines, because one of my other armies is Chaos, so Chaos Space Marines, I mean. So yes, yes, gold trim. Louis is busy with girlfriend coming to France. Exciting, with work and girlfriend coming to France. That's very exciting. I'm only painting CSM so Eldar can shoot them off the table. Good man, good man. There you go. That's what we need in the world. We need some target practice for the elves, definitely. And yes, posting along. Corona, oh, the joys of coronavirus. I'm going. The reason, incidentally, this hobby hangout is technically a week early, because we said we would do the last Saturday of every month when we started it. Obviously with the chance of it not being the last Saturday of every month, like this month, is because I'm off for work stuff. And yes, that's reminding me that coronavirus is a thing. So I'm hunting through documents and trying to submit it, and websites are making me stressed out because they won't accept my document for no reason whatsoever. So looks like I'll just have to take the paperwork to the airport and show them. But I'll be in Germany, so if any of you are in Frankfurt next week, let me know and we can grab a beer perhaps. Okay. Anyone pick up any 40k stickers? That so passed me by. Like, what was that? There are stickers? I don't know. I never got into it as a kid, so I think that's I'm not like super excited about the stickers. I won't lie, but I don't know. Are they cool? I mean, they must be cool. But yeah, well, it's not my bag. But I would like to see some because I'm curious what they look like. Yes. Artel dragons are indeed gorgeous. Yeah, and no plans to update the Aspect Warriors that we know of, but come on. I mean, I don't believe that they put all of that work into... it's getting a bit warm, actually. I might have to get rid of the polar bear. I don't believe that they would have like got Jez Goodwin into the studio. I don't know why. In my head, there's some kind of ritual or task that involves getting Jez Goodwin into the Warhammer studio. Maybe I'm just making that up. But anyway, so yeah, I don't believe they got him all the way in updating Eldar and didn't just do everything. You know, I mean, their release schedule is what it is. They have their various nefarious reasons for doing it the way they do. No, not nefarious, but you know what I mean. I'm sure they have business reasons and manufacturing reasons and all the rest. But we'll get them all, surely. Come on, we'll get them all. And then I will be sad that I have Artel ones instead of GW ones, perhaps, if they're really, really nice. I don't know. But really, I mean, they look fantastic. Look at this guy. Look at him. Look at him. He's gorgeous. I picked up... What did I pick up? It was so stupid. You get a deal if you buy the Artel version of the Phoenix Lord. And I was like, no, I shouldn't. I should be a good boy and not spend that much money. And then I looked back and I was like, it would have been... I would have gotten like a... whatever it is, like 30 quid model for a tenner or whatever. That's not good economics, Greg. You should have just got it when you wanted it. This phone is right in my face, isn't it? Never mind. Don't look at me. Look at the model. Yeah. So, but this is the because he's got a longer gun. Family friendly show. Don't forget. He is the whatchamacallit, the the king of them. Good lord. Where's that word gone out of my head? You know what I mean. He's the one who's lost on the path forevermore. He shall be a fire drake or a fire dragon or whatever they want to call him. So, yes. Okay. So there you go. Old Paint, aka Baroth, Cry of the Old Paint, tells me that apparently the stickers are something, as you guys can all see in there as well. Fuegan is an absolute boss on the tabletop. Right, so now I should just feel even worse for not getting although, so we're going to talk about this later, but I still haven't gotten a single game in. Gutted. I mean, busy, yes, but also needing to find new people to play with. I haven't put a lot of effort into finding new people to play with. That's on me. But all right, shall we have a quick look before I go over what I did on the my guys, and before I start working on them? Shall we have a quick look at what we've got in the Discord server, because it looks like some people have posted some stuff, and we've got a catch up to do. So look here. I say catch up because I believe, if I remember correctly, last time we only got to here. I remember talking about this, but I don't remember talking about Baroth's gorgeous falcon. Yes, no. Waves, no, falcon, right? Yes, falcon here, because that is lovely. I've got my suspicions. I think can we get it bigger? Let's see. That's may or may not be bigger for you guys. I'm not entirely sure. Whoa, that's a little too big. All right. So I've got my suspicions about how you get this textured effect here, Baroth. But if you want to share, because there's no point me waxing lyrical about something that I don't really know about. I know how I do it, but why don't you let us know? Because there's a sort of texture and a little sheen there that I recognise from some of my own painting endeavours. But anyway, let us know how you did that, because that is lovely. Isn't that lovely, everyone? I think it's lovely. So lovely stuff from Baroth last time, Mr. B, including as well these lovely rangers as well, with a little extra flair there, Do you run them as, because the bear heads are supposed to be Inari now, right? That's the sort of not retcon that they've done. So, yeah, but it was always sort of in the lore, wasn't it, that they're supposed to wear the mask, and that's what gets them in the headspace for war and all the rest of it. And then they take off the mask and they can go back to being a candlestick maker. But now it's official that the maskless ones are Inari, so I'd be interested to know if you run them as Inari or not, or if it's just purely How? Hang on. These are so the guns are definitely are the heads. I can't remember the bear heads. Are the bear heads with hoods? I don't remember. But anyway, lovely feathers, dangly feathers, exciting stuff. That same sort of similar pattern there on this. Very nice, very nice. And blue, which is always nice. Look at a birdie. You know what? I have a confession. Since the last stream, I haven't touched those pirates. Sorry, birdies made me remember the Corsairs. So I'm a very naughty boy. I mean, I have been busy, but I probably could have squeezed them in somewhere. I worked on a bust as well, so that takes up a lot of hobby time, doesn't it? Bust painting. Check out my video on bust painting to see that. There you go. There's a bit of self, whatever you call that, insert. And Science Pie today is working on this cool dude. Is that a conversion, or am I seeing things? I know it's a Wraithseer. Is it the and that's the official head. I think I remember painting that when I did mine. Are those the Wraithseer warp veins? I can't remember. Anyway, lovely. Looking forward to seeing what you do with that, sir. Exciting times. There you go. We're live. We know that. Oh, Gil! Oh, I'm so jealous. I want one of these so badly. That best aircraft. I mean, how does Eldar just have all the best vehicles? It's unfair to the other factions. Let's be honest, because they've got the best tanks by far. No one beats, the Falcon body, and they've got the best aircraft as well. How is that not the coolest aircraft in Warhammer 40,000 by Games Workshop? Absolutely gorgeous model, and I will get one, but I need to give myself permission to get one by getting through my mountain of plastic that I currently. That's not a mountain, but yes. And a little work on some banshees from Apotheose. I was going to say Apotheoses, but that's not what that says. Tell me how to pronounce your name. Lovely. Some banshees. What are you doing on the banshees? They're looking pretty good already. Seeing a little bit of power weapon NMM magic going on there on the swords. Gorgeous, lovely, and more blue. We're all about the blue Eldar today, clearly. Not me. I'm, in fact, on the very other side. Oh, you don't want to see that, do you? Let's do this first, shall we? Oh, no, it's all broken. There we go. Okay, and we're back. Sort of, in a sense. Science Pie recognizes... Yeah, you made a comment about, like, I've seen that. Or like working on Science Pie's Falcon or something. I saw that. So explain yourself. It's blended oil paints. Okay, nice. I need one to try out and trash some towel. Okay. So it's Science Pie's Falcon, but he sent it to you and you pay. I don't understand what's going on, but it's all good. Exarch. There's the word I was looking for. Thank you very much, Louis. Very kind. You can see that I'm reading in the most sensible order there. They have 3 heads with hoodies but not a helmet. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Burbhammer is the way to go. Yes. Always take all the way for Eldrad. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, Eldrad's he's the OG Daddy-O, is he not? So yep, proper Wraithseer. Except for, well, there you go. I mean, apparently it's a third party's evening, clearly. So yes, and the Louis. That's right. I knew. I was trying to put 2 and 2. I was like, I know that this name connects to someone who's in the chat. I'm sure it does. In the back of my head somewhere, I had that. I should give myself a cheat sheet, shouldn't I? Yes. Yes, the banshees are looking lovely. He needed a falcon. I sent him my spare falcon. Now that is friendship. That is, it's literally sending someone plastic crap through the mail is a true sign of love. Okay, so I'd give you the lowdown on these guys just because I can. There we go. So this is, I've been playing forever now, it feels like, with the technique of underpainting. So that's just painting colours underneath other colours because it changes the effect. And some of this, I've been running a bunch of kind of experiments, if you like, with inks over different colours to see what kind of effects you can get. Some of them are more useful than others. This is a very like almost pedestrian, sorry, that will not stay in focus, but pedestrian application of underpainting, well, after a certain point. So this guy started out life burgundy. I mean, I could probably find the colours in here if I tried. There you go. So he was this colour. So this is kind of a cool, it's kind of a red from Molotov, because that's my favourite brand for putting in the airbrush. So he started out life burgundy, and then he made a little bit of a transition to pink, because pink is the colour that you want to underpaint yellow with for shadows, because something about pink interacting with yellow transparent paints like inks basically turns it orange, and it turns a really rich, beautiful orange, and it looks very, very nice. So he got a kind of an all-over zenithal with that, and then I knew I wanted to get it up to quite a high highlight, so I then also did, is it this the one? Is this natural white, or is this just white? No, this is signal white. Anyway, it's natural. It's like this, but a little bit warmer than this white. So you got sort of a secondary zenithal, so even tighter, just on his face and chest a little bit with that. So then he had this like 4-stage transition of burgundy to pink to natural white. That's only 3. I feel like I'm missing one. Did I say something else? No. Oh yeah, and then the 4th stage is to go all over with yellow ink, and the result of that is what you can see on his like head and his shoulder pads and his loincloth and anything that's yellow basically. But obviously when I first did it, he was all that. He was just this pretty yellow chap. And I wanted to do a like an analogous color scheme for this, traditional fire dragon color scheme. So just keeping everything sort of pretty tight, narrow in that yellow to red spectrum, and then mostly yellows and oranges. So the next thing I did was I pulled out, can I find it in here quickly? The question is, no I can't, so I will just tell you. I'll pull out another one. This is not the one I used, but there's a speed paint, Army Painter speed paints. I used, I think it's called Giant Orange, like Fire Giant Orange, I think it's called Fire Giant Orange. And I just slathered that on. I mean, I used one of my biggest brushes, like a size 2 or whatever, and just slathered that all over the bits that I wanted to be orange. And then I pulled out the red from that from the Speed Painter range, and I painted the guns and the like grenades and all that kind of stuff, and the crests. And then I pulled out the black and painted just the guns and the grenades and what have you. Okay, so that is how we got to this stage. Now it seems kind of complicated, but the thing that makes painting like that nice with these like underpainting and transparent applications and what have you is actually all of that is really simple to do. It's not taxing work. You can stick on a TV show, Netflix, if you still do that, because apparently a third of you don't anymore, or your favorite battle report, or favorite YouTubers videos or whatever. Stick it on, and you don't have to really concentrate on what you're doing with your hands, because it's pretty sloppy work. And to be honest with you, has this guy got any? You can even sort of afford to be a little bit I mean, if you make mistakes, it's not the end of the world with these kinds of techniques, because what I'm going to do now is I am going to go into the more kind of detailed work. So that's with opaque acrylics and touching up highlights, all that kind of stuff, and that's where you can neaten up and you can refine, but it's quite a forgiving process. And if you're a battle ready kind of a person, this isn't going to take you longer really to do than it would be to do like a regular kind of battle ready, like paint it red and put a wash, or don't even put a wash or whatever. It really, it's not going to consume much more of your time. But you look at that, you have macro lighting, you have shading, you have if you look at him, sorry, I'm struggling with my light and my what's face, but if you look at him from below, he's very dark. If you look at him from above, he's very bright. It's showing us that he's nicely shaded and all the rest. And yeah, I don't know. I think he looks cool. I'm happy with how it turned out. Tell me what you think. And I need to start painting. The chat's gone wild. Yeah, post along, as we all should. Louis just shouldn't have octo names. Yes, indeed. Agreed. I have a couple, but I don't have loads. And anyway, GRG miniatures everywhere. You'll see me, I imagine. Oh my lord, Mechanical Paul making some kind of terrible confession that he has never owned any Eldari. Is it legal to build an army of nearly all Banshees? No, it is not currently legal to my knowledge. Yeah. You could do a very, very heavy... sorry, let me read, actually. Someone's probably said. Yeah, Screaming Banshees... how the Underpainting series, yeah, I'll get onto that. Love making mistakes, to be fair. A pro... I don't know what that refers to. Build up colours you're looking to achieve, yeah. The black and introduce alternative colours into highlights. I'll shut up now. Yeah, so we chatted about this, I think, briefly, Paul. It's actually done. The black, well, a version of... Sorry, I'm getting paints while I talk. Yellows. Reds. Although, well, we'll see if I need it, actually. It's mostly going to be yellows. A version of a black... So I think there's going to be at least 2 videos in the Underpainting series on this one, on black, because it's a potentially relatively complicated subject if you want it to be, and I like to make things harder than they need to be. So I will do that. I'll make it complicated. So I've Naples yellow. No, I don't like you. I don't think we need raw sienna either. Sorry, I'm thinking of my paints. I'm looking at this lovely array of yellow paints from Scale Colour Artist series. Also recommend if you're into painting. I mean, if you just like to get your models done, there's nothing wrong with the usual brands like Vallejo and all that kind of stuff. But if you want to get a bit fancy, or just nice Christmas present. Although the thing about them as a Christmas present is that all of the colours kind of come in these like sets. You don't get. There's not really. There's like one set which is a bit useless, which is like the primaries or whatever, and it's like black, white, and then I can't remember what primaries they went with. I think they went with traditional paint primaries. But other than that, you either buy them separately or you buy them in these like color sets. This is why I think this is a good product, though. It's quite to get through all of them. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I think there's one that I didn't get, and I can't remember how much they are. It can be a little bit pricey, but this is a really good way of thinking about colour. They've thought about it for you, which is really handy. So if you're painting something yellow, this has kind of given you your palette, and they're all high quality paints. They've all basically 2, sometimes 1, but usually 2 pigments, which means that they mix well and all that kind of stuff. They've got a thicker consistency than regular acrylic paints, which means that you can do more things with them because you can always thin it down a little bit to a more regular hobby paint consistency, or miniature paint consistency. Anyway, they're great. I love them. Recommend if you are into your paints. But I think I might just need. Well, I'll stick another one on there just in case. Anyway, Underpainting black. Yeah, make it complicated. So without going into any spoilers, you can do the way that you said. I don't know if that counts as underpainting. Although that's like your base coat is black, and then the thing that you put on top of it, that it's that way around. But so far, the way that I've been phrasing it is underpainting blue means that the result should be blue, right? So you might paint it red underneath, but you want your final result to be blue. So that's what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for a final result of black. So not necessarily painting it black and then putting something over the top, but yeah, final result of black. Anyway, which means that I am not counting what that you're describing as underpainting black. I might do a video on it anyway, because I think it's a good idea, and it's actually how I paint black regularly anyway, so it would be an easy one. But I wanted to experiment and explore, so I've done some other stuff and things. So yeah, the two ways of doing it is to paint it a colour and then try and undershade to black, and then the other way to do it is to try and work towards chromatic blacks by using colours. Oh, I've got a thing, haven't I? Over my above my head. Where am I? There you go. There it is. So you use like I can't actually point at it though, but you use colours from opposite sides of the wheel and they pull towards black. So that's another way of doing it. I don't know what's what's good, if it's worthwhile. I mean, chromatic blacks are pretty interesting because chromatic blacks are really rich. And they can be nice bridge ways to bridge colours and schemes and what have you. So if you've got like red and green is quite a common way to make a chromatic black, even though they're not direct opposites. But if you've got like a red and green scheme, then you can make your black out of the chromatic black, and it kind of harmonizes nicely. It's very arty-farty anyway. I could bang on about that kind of stuff all the live long day, but I will try and abstain too much, since it's all about the Eldar, really, isn't it? I'm just laying out colours on a palette right now, in case you couldn't tell. The way that I'm working more and more when I paint is just to throw everything that I think I might need on the palette, and then try and think as little as possible once the paintbrush is in my hand, in terms of like finding colours and what have you. I think we might want to put a little bit of magenta on there as well. We'll see. I'll put it on there for the reasons I just described. Although I'm not going to put on the colours for the gems, because I don't know if I'm going to get to that tonight. Oh, and of course I've got the metallics as well. I forgot about that. Well, anyway. Well, I kind of need to do the metallics first, actually. We need to do that. All right, you can take 30 banshees with Jane Saw, an autarch, and a banshee mask, and enjoy chopping things up. Yeah, I mean, that's yeah. You can take a lot of banshees. You just can't. It can't be your entire list. You'd need troops choices in there, right, for any kind of undercut every model. Grey crew. Boo. No. Oh, it's in the other room. I could have shown you that. I mean, I posted this to. This is going to sound like a hideous, disgusting plug. It's not supposed to be a hideous, disgusting plug. But I posted to my Patreon today the results of underpainting with opaque colours, and it makes such a massive difference. Even if you are painting like an opaque green over brown versus khaki, which is the example that I was showing. It makes a massive difference to the color of the paint, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with just priming everything grey and painting it how you like it. Of course there isn't, but it's exciting to explore sometimes too, isn't it? All right, jabba jabba jabba. We've managed to get 10 minutes into the stream. Almost. I said that like almost bang on 10 minutes, I think. Without picking up a paintbrush. So let's pick up all the paintbrushes at once. Ba-bam. I think most of you. Oh no, what have I done to that poor thing? Oh god, that's a sable as well. Look at that hooked nose beast. It's not a cheap sale either. I think all of you guys have been here before, so you know the brushes I use. Broken Toad, because I like them. Not a sponsor. No one's a sponsor. All right, let's pop that like that. There we go. Cool. Coolio Schoolio. Oh, I sort of told a porky pie actually. Now that I think about it, I said that we're doing this week because I'm going to Germany. That's not true. We're doing this week, not next week, because I'm gonna go see Marco Frassoni. I'm so excited. Marco Frassoni is a painting hero of mine. I think his stuff looks really cool, but I also really like his approach to color theory and teaching and finding the balance between achieving and having things look good and all that kind of stuff. Well, I'm that's why I'm here to paint. So I'm sorry, I'm responding to science by that. Anyway, so love Marco Frassoni, and he's doing a workshop in London town in the not too distant future. Next Saturday and Sunday, and that's the real reason why I won't be here. Oh, I said I need to do metallics first, didn't I? Okay. So let's lift this up and put this down here. Metallics go on a dry palette, a regular palette, whatever you want to call it, and keeping with the analogous colour scheme, we won't put any cold silvers in there. Even the guys, there's loads of really good content for my channel aside. There's loads of really good content on YouTube for painting, and some of it I think trends towards beginner-friendly content / entertainment, and some of it is like this amazingly good painter who you're just gonna have to watch and sort of like try and, I mean, they explain what they're doing, but it's so like out of your league, out of my league anyway, like people like Sergio Calvo and those kinds of guys, that you just kind of have to watch it and just hope that some of it seeps in by osmosis. But Marco's channel is phenomenal because you are learning how to do some really complicated stuff, but he makes it very easy, and I feel like he does improve your painting by watching his shizzle. So yeah, all the love in the world for Marco, and also his the way he says "hello guys" at the beginning of his videos is a regular dopamine hit for me. I go there specifically for that action. I love these Vallejo metal color paints, but you close them and they frickin' splash everywhere, so be warned if you use that. Pain in the backside. Yes, boast along do indeed. Twins are king. Oh no, the joys of being a father. Cheers, Paul, nice to have you with us, and see you on the Discord. He does make oil paints look easy. They're not that easy. Right, what is metal on this dude anyway? Is that a good angle? I'm trying my best to find decent angles. The problem is that it's either you can see or I can see is how it goes for me at the moment. That's not bad, is it? Alright. Oh, that's a bit close to my eyes. My glasses, since I started wearing glasses, I realised that my, where I can focus is significantly longer. It's further away from my face than it used to be, which is a weird thing to experience. I suppose you guys only know me with glasses. But I actually only wear glasses. Oh, this isn't even... What is going on? Well, too late now. I'm going to pretend that this is encased in metal. It actually looks like it's not, but never mind. Oh no. There we go, that's fine. Okay, so who has got games in, by the way, and how did they go? And who's got games in since the nerf? I believe, not being someone who plays regularly at the moment, unfortunately, believe Eldar, or I should say Craft Worlds, kind of dodged the worst of it. Not being very neat, am I? But I mean, Harlequins needed a nerf, right? What was that thing of they had a 75% win rate or something? Yeah, I mean, I love my Harlequins as much as the next guy, but that doesn't seem quite right, does it? So, and what were the nerfs exactly? Yeah, and has anyone played with them? How are games going generally? Are you whooping ass with the phenomenal space elves? Or not? Alright. Oops, okay. What else should be metal on this guy? Maybe that buckle on his loincloth? Could be. They're actually simple. They're not simple. I mean, compared to the GW Fire Dragons are very simple, and I was sort of reticent to get these guys at first because I thought I quite liked the simple ones from GW, and I was sort of like, oh, maybe I'll wait. But then it was a complete impulse purchase. I saw the rules preview for these guys, and I was like, I want one, or rather, I want many. And so I just jumped on and bought them anyway, and I'm glad I did because they are cool AF. Yeah, let's destroy the Tau. Oh no, I got personally destroyed by the Tau pre-data slate. Oh dear. Well, I mean, the Tau also got some pretty crazy rules in their new. What else is bronze on you? Nothing, I think. Okay, cool. Yeah, they got some pretty crazy rules in their new codex, right? So I don't think you can beat. It's not what people were going to want to hear, but it's still just smashing people with his custodies. That's very much not what I want to hear on this event that's all about Eldar from the moderator himself. How very dare he. Fair enough. Yeah. The thing is, as well, is I have like a pretty sizable Eldar force now. And it would be nice to use it, but I need to just so I will be at my what counts as my local gaming store for the Marco Frassoni workshop, and maybe I can make some headway into finding people to play with there. That would be good. We haven't got my mate James in tonight, actually. Oh dear, I'm not doing a very neat job of this, but anyway. So it goes on a live stream. You can always fix it later. There's always options. That's my belief. Oh, that's the other thing. Yes, there is other things that need to be bronzed. Big things. Namely, the tips of guns. Because I don't know why. I just feel like this is... well, I suppose it's more of a copper colour, this, but anyway. I feel like this should be this. What do you think at home? Am I screwing up my models like a damn idiot? Yes. I haven't done a kind of... well, I need to paint up everything that I've bought, and then I'll do another family shot, and that's going to be a big... there's going to be a big family now of all my space elves. When it's all painted. What do we have still on the list? All of those shining spears to build and paint. I have to paint 5 more Storm Guardian. I did 5 already, but I've got 5 more to do. Those are going to be my Rainbow Storm Guardians because I did them for a video, so they're painted in all the different craft worlds. So 5 Storm Guardian. Oops. It's not very on shot, is it, Greg? I've got Morgan Ra, great name, and his boys, the Dark Reapers, to do, and Avatar. I think that's it for Space Elves. I think that's it. In my plastic pile of shame, and of course I've got scenery up the wazoo because I got the pirates in their box with the chaos. Yeah, and then it might just have to become a chaos channel, guys. Sorry, because then I'll run out of elves to paint. Although there's still stuff I need to buy as well. So, let me have a look at the chat here quickly. Oh gosh, where am I? Been too busy to play. Not what people are. Void Weaver 40 points, Star Weaver 15 points. Ooh, a 40 point increase is massive. Good lord. Which one's which? I've forgotten. Sorry. But which one is the transport and which one is the... because Skyweavers are the bikes, right? Void Weaver is the gunboat and... Starweaver is the transport, is that right? Let me know. But yeah, that's some pretty mean points. Trying to tidy up my Eldar army a bit in general before they hit the table. Fair enough. And getting new models. Yeah, well, we've all got excuses. We've all got excuses for playing Custodes. I kind of want to paint Custodes. I painted one on commission, the Blade Champion, for a chappie. Oh god, actually that's a sad tale. We won't go too into that detail. But anyway, I painted him, but he wanted him in the white Custodes scheme, which is cool. Looks really cool. But I really want to paint like the like poster boy Custodes paint scheme. Just because I want to practice my golds. That's literally the only reason. But yeah, and they look fun. They do look fun to paint. A slightly bigger scale even than Primaris Marines. Your belt buckle doesn't get painted because I can't see it. So tough titties to you, Captain. Painting things, all sorts of colours. Mirror Architect only for one core unit. Okay, that's one of their powers, is it? Or yeah, that's a psychic power. This goes to show how much I have not been playing. I can't even remember what's what. Oops. Disappointed by our moderator, right? How very dare he have other armies. Don't tell anyone about all the chaos and orcs behind me. How dare he have and enjoy other armies, in fact. In fact, I can now officially say that since the new codex, my number of armies has been reduced because my Harlequins are now just Eldar. So there you go. An excuse to buy another army. Or start another army, I mean. What else is going on? Favour of Sigarak is melee only. He needs his thing done, Craig. Pay attention. Okay. I'm doing reconnaissance. Yeah, I think you're in too deep. I think you're in too deep. Don't you have... I feel like you've got another Imperial army as well. Science Spy. I feel like there may be yellow boys in your collection. Am I making that up? Exposing all of your dastardly deeds to the wider world. All that extra AP got nerfed with Armour of Contempt. What's that? So what happened there? Armour of Contempt. Is that... No, that's... I don't understand. There's the business about like just like all these people getting AP minus APs. I see. Oh yeah, that is what you're saying then. Yeah, because Space Marines and Chaos Space Marines and Sisters of Battle all get AP -1 now, right? Is that the Armour of Contempt business? And yeah. So it seems like, I don't know. Seems ad hoc. Seems like they're chasing their tail on this AP stuff. Like they give it and they take it away, and they give it and they take it away. Seems like a... I don't know. It's probably all fine. They know what they're doing better than I do. I'm not a wargame designer, but still, it does seem weird to give everything AP and then suddenly say, you know, everything is AP -1, or what's the other thing that they're giving everything? Like is it invulnerable saves don't count. You can't take an invulnerable save, right? I mean, they're just finding things to make stuff interesting, I guess, but yeah, it can be a bit hard to keep track of if you're not a very regular player like me. Yesterday, what else is going on in the chat of chats? Oh no! Science Spy's laptop blue screened. Good lord! You know what that is? That's because you're playing too much Custodes. It's just a fact. That's what happens. I read it on the internet. The playing of Custodes will make the laptop blow up. Okay. More base coats going in. More metallics, I mean. Void Weaver is the tank. Star Weaver is the transport. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, yeah. That's... yeah. So does that mean that the Void Weaver's gone back to not really being something that people are going to play? That would be a shame. I always thought it was ridiculous that there were, like, things in the tiny what do you call them, Harlequin's list, that weren't really very usable, i.e. the Void Weaver. This is before the new codex, right? And I think I never had any luck with the Solitaire, and then I read online and a lot of people were saying that he used to be an absolute beast and then they nerfed him and he was not very playable. But yeah, when you want so few units to choose from, and then some stuff is not. I mean, because I don't play competitively, but even I was like, I'm not bringing another Void Weaver. That was trash. So my mate let me epoxy it as a Star Weaver when we played games. But yeah, I hope that doesn't. The new points doesn't mean they haven't reduced it back to that again. That would be a real shame. Okay, Void Weaver is still very good. That's good to know. Pivotal role for the Shadow Seer. Yeah, okay, pivotal role. And we've all got excuses for playing to studies. Yes. Let's build t-shirt. Oh dear. Sorry. Noises off. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. There are still noises, which means no one's died in the flat that we know of. Bum bum bum. I gotta be sure, right? You don't have another Imperium army, right? I think he does. I don't know why I think you do, but pretty sure you do. Laptop seems okay. Well, that's good. We wouldn't want to have our in-house Imperial player suddenly. Uh-oh, stir in the pot. Stir in the pot. Alright, how much more? So I've got 9 of these guys. That's right, it's a bit of a weird number. Because I wanted to get the ladies too. Alright, we've got 9 and I've done 5 of the gold. So... Oh, that's the average view duration. I thought so. Yeah. When I said earlier, 10 minutes in, I was like, but that can't be right because we've surely been going longer. It feels longer than 10 minutes. Yeah, that's not what that number means. Okay. Anyway, enough chin wagging. Let's have a look and see what some people are doing. Boop. What do we got? Durthu! Bits came in, so converting up some more Warlocks and Fire Dragons. And I converted Fire Dragons. Awesome. Corsair Wayseeker is a nice way to make Warlock bikes on the cheap. And Guardian Fusion fit on Avengers perfectly. Nice. Yes. Oh yeah, that does look cool. Yeah. Oh, that blade is looking suspiciously Drukhari, but I still like it. Yeah, awesome. Nice. Warlocks on bikes. We don't have them yet, do we? I mean, new plastic ones. I don't think we do. Awesome. Yeah, that fits perfectly. That looks ace. Nice. Very cool. And Project Zero, getting these guys finally painted up. Are you people in the chat? If you are, make yourself known. We don't get... I'm so Craft Worlds. We hardly ever get Drukhari stuff in this event. Do Drukhari have their own Reddit? I'm assuming they do. So maybe that siphons off all of our Drukhari brethren. But I watched Luetin. Is it Luetin? Am I saying that right? I watched his Drukhari video the other day. That's a great video for all Eldar, actually. He goes into some really interesting ideas and concepts. About Eldari souls and all that kind of thing, so give that a check if you haven't. It's long because all those videos are long. It's got like a video that's like an hour and it's about one kind of dog in Warhammer or something. But it's interesting stuff. Nice to stick on while you're cooking, that kind of stuff. Anyway, these Drukhari, look at them, looking fabulous. Red, green, black, and gold. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, and I guess you need to finish up these 2 chappies on the sides. Get them done. Okay. Yeah, I might want a sticker a bit more now. What I want more than a sticker is I want a plastic version of him that is reimagined, not reimagined, but like, you know, what they've done to all the other ones. I kind of like the idea that, I don't know if this is true or not, but in my headcanon, the reason his armor is so different is because he's the first, right? And so a little bit like I think the Ivrain and her chappie, whatever he's called, her bodyguard man, the reason their armor is quite different is because it's supposed to be like ancient Eldari armor, like medieval style Eldari costumes. So they're basically like cosplayers that just going to the Renaissance fair. But yes, maybe I want to sticker a little bit. I've written the words Iggy in the chat for no reason. I'll get rid of that. Any thoughts on what I could do? See, right, Durthu, you need to get this into the maybe we should put the YouTube link in here as well, Science Pie. Just occasionally post the YouTube link in there. Sorry, you're going to behind the scenes now. Share, copy. There we go. Back to the scenes. Come chat in here, by the way. Okay, cool. There you go. So, but anyway, Durthu wants to know, and apologies, Durthu, if you are in the YouTube chat and I just don't know your YouTube name. The base is to make them distinct. I know you use snow ice bases, but I'm thinking of giving them no snow and lots of mud to represent the melting of the snow. That's exactly what I was thinking at the start of that question. Do something, not that. Don't be a fool. There we go. Yeah, that's what I would do. I think I would work out some way of representing the fact that particularly if it's snow, that the snow is melting, and maybe some scorch marks and that kind of stuff. I'm lucky. My chappies come with base decorations already. That's pretty grim. I mean, it is the grim darkness of the future, but he's going to be interesting to. He's not going to be those colours, by the way. It's just because I airbrushed the base bits as well. So we're doing some nice ultramarine because, you know, screw those guys, for the broken Imperial tanks, and then we've got a nice bird body. But yeah, I'm going to be doing scorched. My elves normally go on kind of a pretty generic kind of greenery base. I mean now recently I've been just using Geek Gaming's Mediterranean, I think, base ready. So you just dip it in, nice and easy. Yeah, it would be good to find ways of doing some scorch marks. I've got a feeling what I'd like to do is boom, boom, click, click. Yes. I'd like to try using some of. Is this it? Please be it. So I don't have to. Yes, there we go. I've got some. What is that? How do I say that? Anthracite black. Pigment, and I think this might be an interesting way of doing scorch marks because it'll give you a nice kind of like matte dry feel, but it might be too dusty. I don't know. I'm gonna give that a go, so I'll let you know how that goes. I'll try and work out a way of actually using that because I hadn't really done much with pigment powders, and I thought I better get some, or I'll get one rather, is what I thought actually, just to test out and see how I like them. And then I kind of bought one that's pretty useless. Black is not a like massively useful pigment powder, I don't think. Like normally you want like reds and earth tones because you're representing dust. And yeah, I don't do anything on black bases which would have black dust. So it's only really been used on some YouTube models for the channel. That's a fun game. Go back and watch all the videos and see if you see if you can find where I've used black pigment powders. Don't do that. I mean, I don't think you were going to do it anyway, but Miss the Rose Solitaire. What's the Rose Solitaire? Do tell. So hang on. Imperial Fists, Necrons, Eldar, Custodes, and Sister Silence, Knights, Orcs, and Inquisition. Well, now that is a lot of Imperial. It's nice though, and I mean you've got a war on your shelves right there, haven't you? I mean you've got the war in heaven for a start, with your Necrons and your Eldar. That's a matchup that I haven't seen too much of. I need to find some Necrons to play against. I think that's a good like grudge battle kind of a fight. Nice and narrative. Boop. Sloop, sloop, sloop. And doop. There we go. So glad to hear it. Yes, me too. It's nice when the computer's working. How are we doing? Okay. Yes, the Drukari. Oh, is that you, Gil? Sorry, my bad. I thought you were Gil in the chat though. Are you Project Zero in the chat? I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know what's going on. Scorch Marks on terrain, and it looked really good. Okay, cool. Well then, in that case, that's what I'll do. I'll have to go have a little hunt for that. That's Vince Ventrilla. I don't know. I can't remember how you say his last name, or what it is rather. The hobby cheating videos, right? That's a big series. Good lord, that guy's made like 100 of those or something, I think, or well over 100 maybe. You got this moderating thing down fine. I'm putting my feet up. Emotional distress from all the Imperial slander. No, you will moderate, sir, and you will do a mighty fine job of it, as you always do. I mean, just delete anyone that says crap. That's all, you know. I mean, the spam bots. If you delete the people that said crap, I'd be out of here. Whee! So, Scorch Marks, possible with black pigment powder. Roger that. I will look that up because I'm thinking of using on my avatar as well. Do we want him to be good? And I have an avatar on commission as well. Just kind of a weird situation because like part of me is like, well, I should paint my own avatar first and then I've practiced so that I get the one that I'm being paid for done properly. But then the other part of me is like, I've had this man's avatar sitting on my shelf for a few too many weeks now. I need to get that painted. Maybe I should just do it. He understands the situation though, and he knows the lead time, since we had other jobs to do, and also he's got other models. It's impossible to get Baharoth at the moment, it seems. The Phoenix Lord, not the Kit Basher extraordinaire in the chat. Kit bashing, that's not. I don't think kit bashing is the term for what you do, is it, Baharoth? I don't know. You tell me what it's called. I feel like kit bashing is like quite a Warhammer specific thing. It feels like to me, like giving this thing something else's gun or whatever. But you make pretty things from all sorts of stuff, not just miniature models. Anyway, yeah, it's really hard to hear. That's the other part of the order. So. And he's tough to get hold of at the moment, that Phoenix Lord, since he is so very, very popular, because of his wonderful rules, I suspect. And he's an ancient model as well. That's a piece of history, that. Lovely. Painty. Pretty good. Post along indeed. No, I'm not missing anything. This one too. We're almost there. Almost there with the boring painting things, bronze or copper, whatever decided this colour was. Pardon me. What time is it? 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. So we've been going for an hour. How is the progress going, guys? Dare you show works in progress? Because you're watching my work in progress live, so you can see what a terribly sloppy painter I am. I have to go back and fix all of my lines almost every time. Maybe you can't see because I don't know what the resolution is like. But anyway. It's noise in the background. You're looking at your paints anyway, I imagine. Other things you're painting, I mean. Yes, indeed. What's for people who have been playing, incidentally, what's not been so good out of the codex? I heard that those poor... That's what everyone said, right? Is that the Death Chappies, Dark Reapers, are a bit meh. Is there anything else? Not that we like to talk about... We don't like to be Debbie Downers about it, but it's, you know, interesting to note, I suppose. Yeah, I paint and collect mostly, right, as we've been over a million times, so it doesn't really bother me if something is not currently in the meta or whatever. But yeah, things that maybe I shouldn't be excited about adding to my list when I finally get into a game, it'd be good to know. Boop. I booped its snoot. And everyone was happy. Okay, it's Exarch time. Bum, ba, ba, bum, 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 ba, ba, bum, bum, ba, 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 bum. He is a little bit different to the others. Let's see what's different. Although, in terms of what I'm going to paint, I don't really know what to do with his gun. I left his gun yellow because I thought it might be interesting. We're going to have to make decisions about that in the not too distant future. Anyway, right now I'm looking for things that I want to paint bronze, and actually it's the same stuff. It's just a little bit on the crest, because that's where I've decided their spirit stones are, not this one in the middle, but the one on the helmet. And I have a rule that spirit stones have to be surrounded by metallics. And this bit here. And maybe not his gun, we'll leave his gun for now. Wild Fish 09. Storm Guardians still suck in the new book. It's a shame, since the new models look so good. They do look great, and that is a shame. I mean, the thing is what are you going to do with squishy elves and close combat troops? Do you know what I mean? You can make other things good at close combat, because you can just make them absolute beasts. But yeah, if it can't be really an absolute beast... Oh, I'm sure there are ways to do it, though. It would be nice if they did. Alright. Sorry, I want to catch up with chat in just a second, but I don't know what I'm doing with my paint. Sometimes a model can be a little too detailed. It'd be difficult to read what's what. That's part of our jobs as painters, right? Find out what it is and make it look like that. Oh no, okay, I was caught up with the chat, that's good. Alright. Fill in this line here. Lovely. Ooh. Ooh. Oh my lord, he's the worst one yet. And the thing about metallics is I do rinse them out, but it's not great with metallics, because you almost inevitably get mica pigments. That is mica pigments, that's what they're called, right? Everywhere. So not great, but there you go. Cool. Alright, I think we're going to call the metallics done. Good and grand. I should have the other one open. Well, actually no, that's not true. Oh my. Oh me oh my. I'll wait till that gets a bit more filled out, but sorry, I'm having a look. Yeah, high hopes for melee troops. Dashed! Hopes dashed. Ooh, just keep on sticking my finger in that, don't I? Right, I want to get this out of the way, because inevitably I'm going to do what I always do when I leave it out, which is put the heel of my palm in it when I'm getting paints and then get metallic paints everywhere, which is not what I want to do. Now, let's get back to some acrylics. Let's do that. Let's do it. So hang on, we normally go to 11, don't we, right? 8, 9, 10, 11, yeah, okay, 3 hours, yes. Sorry, just trying to keep track of what in the hell I'm doing. Oh, important colour not on the palette. Oh, Gil, how are you getting on with that white, by the way? I think I sent a picture to you. This is the one that I use. You said it was really hard to get where you are, but which I think was Denmark. Was that right? Am I making that up? Anyway, let's get white on the table as well. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Yeah, I bet banshees are good. I've heard banshees are good. Tin, tin, tin. Alright, cool. What next though? Eyes, and I think... well, maybe not eyes. No, it's got to be eyes, isn't it? Yeah. So let's see what we can do with a little bit of red, a little bit of magenta. And that's the other colour now on my palette that I want on my palette. Black. Foolish boy. Where is your black? Okay. In the Zoe painting, who's Zoe, and does your wife know about her? I'm sorry, that was not a family-friendly joke. I don't even know if you have a wife. I think you mentioned that you have a wife. Maybe you haven't. In the zone painting, good. Well, that's where you should be. So don't worry about it. No need to apologise. This is not the brush that I want to mix paints with. All right. Okay. Well, it's a colour. It's definitely a colour. Let's get that colour on the model. In these tiny, tiny little elf eyes. Oh, sorry. Let's see if I can. Oh, that's really in my way. That's not fun. Okay, there you go. There we go. Gently does it. So eyes first. This is sage advice. Whether they're lenses like this or actual eyes on a model, you get them done as early as you can, because inevitably you will go over the lines, if you know what I mean. Doing them first means that you can fix that up when you come in to repair, when you come in to do your edge highlights and all that kind of stuff, right? But if you've done all of your shading and all that kind of stuff already, you're going to be really annoyed with yourself, because you have to redo that all when you go to fix your lenses or your eyes or whatever. Okay. A little bit of real ready red in the corner. I don't think this is going to read on camera, because I don't think we're going to get high enough resolution over this stream, but never mind. And anyway, that needs to dry, Craig. Stop faffing, boy. Move on to the next one. Oh, I've got water on my screen. That's not a good look. Yes. Sent me a picture on Reddit. Oh, did you? Oh no. Oh, do you send me a picture on Reddit of the paints that you got? Is that right? I don't know if I missed. Sorry, I'm not the Reddit chat. I just find not very user friendly, and I also don't have the notifications set to ding me, so I only see them when I go in and look at them. So I'm sorry. I'm not ignoring you. I promise. It's just not opening the actual Reddit app and seeing the chat. Yeah. So the problem being that I don't use the Reddit app because it's horrible. I use Apollo, and Apollo, they haven't released, I don't think they have the API released for the chat. I don't know if that's because it's difficult to do or because they're trying to force people to use the thing, but the upshot is that I don't see chat messages very frequently, because I have to open up the Reddit app. Shoop. Shoop. Painting eyes, do do do. Okay. Found another brand. Fair enough. Oh no, yeah. Sorry, yes, yeah. That's okay. No, I'm up to speed now. Yeah. That I did see the picture of that. I think I may not have replied to you because of being a naughty boy. But yeah, in case anyone is wondering what the hell we're talking about, Gil was asking me about white paints, and I said, for my money, for white, just buy an artist's acrylic white, artist grade acrylic white, because you'll get better pigment density, and even though they're a bit thicker, you can always, like these other paints that I'm using, you can always thin them down to the consistency that you need with water, because the pigment density is up there. But the thicker paint is handy for doing things that I frequently do with white, such as dotting the corners of lenses and that kind of stuff. When it's thicker, that I find it easier to do and easier to control. So and bang for your buck. Although those paints might seem expensive, normally, you know, milliliter by milliliter, you're getting more paint in the artist ones, for acrylics anyway. Actually, no, that's just generally true. Like, paint companies tend to like miniature paint companies tend to be quite expensive. Sometimes it's worth it. Frequently it's worth it for a miniature specific product, but for me, for white, nah. Nice. Okay. Things to fix, but making progress. What's so bad about the Reddit app? Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe I just need to get used to it, or it's just, you know, sometimes, I don't know, you don't gel with an app, but I find it, A, quite buggy compared to Apollo, and B, full of ads and all that kind of stuff. Apollo is ad free. Maybe not if you don't. I mean, it was still pretty cheap when it first came out. I don't know what it's like now, but so I got like I got the paid version of it, which means no ads, not even the Reddit ads, no like weird recommendations in my homepage. Like I curate a homepage because those are the things that I want to see, not your recommendations. Thanks for trying, but don't need your algorithm in my life. So yeah, stuff like that. I find it, and I find the chat generally on Reddit a bit broken. Like notification badges that won't go away even though I've seen the messages. Like they have this weird bug where you have to open and close it to make it go away. But I've even had them not go away with that, and it took like, I don't even know what did it in the end, but yeah, it took a long time. And you know, it's petty, but I just think, well, my dudes, if you can't get the quality there, I'm not going to use your app. But unfortunately, I do need the chat for something, so the app is on my phone. I just don't use it for browsing Reddit. Yeah, I don't think it's just me being like not understanding or whatever. I think that the Reddit app is pretty poop. I can't imagine what it's like for moderators as well, because you guys must have a lot more options and what have you. So yeah, I hope that that's not too hard, because you're already doing a service for the community. Alright. See, the problem with going 100% airbrush free for this stream is that progress is, is a little slower. You know, here's 15 minutes of me painting the lenses of the eyes of 9 aspect warriors. Enjoy the viewing. Well, you're not watching, you're painting. Or at least I hope you are. And listening to the ramblings of the madman with the camera. Do 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 do. So, which is the best craft world and why is it Ulthway? Answers on a postcard. Oh yeah, you guys should. I did a video a while back on painting, like just different ways of approaching painting the nice all the craft world, all the major craft worlds, and then but there's 6 minor craft worlds, and I only have 5 models left to do. So there's a poll you can find on my Discord. Just look at the bottom of any of my videos, the link's there. Go vote for which minor craft world is not going to get painted. Go have a little vote and see. I haven't looked at that part of the Discord and my Discord in ages. Actually, maybe a bunch of people have voted, but yeah, I need to explore the minor craft worlds a bit more. I don't know their lore very well. I mean, to be fair, I'm not even like deep on regular craft worlds, the other major craft worlds, because I just love Ulthway so much. Only one can take Eldar, so only one can be the best craft world. You know. I mean, it's no small thing. I also think that they're badasses. There's part of me that is like sometimes gets a little bit sick of painting black and bone, but I think that would happen whatever faction you chose, right? There'd always be times where you're thinking, oh god, why am I painting more red blood angels or more white and green? But bone and black is a particular pain in the ass because those colours don't want to be on top of each other. I mean, specifically bone doesn't want to be on top of black. It's not into it. It says, give me a lighter base. It says, give it to me. Which is why when I painted my Autarch, I just didn't bother at all. I painted it the other way around. Why not? Ibrasil is easily the best of the minor craft worlds, although it may be a bit biased. It may be a bit biased. All my painted that way. Well, that's the kind of bias that we're here for. Everyone's painted now. So, which one is Ibrasil? Is Ibrasil the one that's like purpley greens, or what are the? We've got the reddy ones. I think that's Kaith. Il Kaith, is it? I wonder if I can do a quick. I did look this up because unfortunately I can't remember all of the. Oh, they're the bluey ones. Yeah, the turquoise ones. Yeah, they are very cool. Cannot be denied. Cannot be denied. What's their main lore point, though? What's their main? Because so the thing that other than Papa L being the biggest badass in the whole of the 41st millennium, the thing that attracted me to Ulthway is, well, that they're all badasses, that they circled the Eye of Terror as space elves, which is pretty hardcore. These eyes aren't reading as well as I'd like them to. Things to consider. Although I haven't done my little white dot yet, so. What's Ibrasil's main jam, I wonder? He said, thinking out loud, and showing that he hasn't done a deep dive into the codex properly yet. Terribly naughty boy. I mean, we could read about them, couldn't we? Matriarchal. Oh, okay, right, that's it. I'm sick of eyes. Let's find out about Ibrasil. Codex Eldari. That's one way of getting paint on your codex, Craig. There we go. That's better. All right, minor craft worlds. Those are swooping hawks. Oh, look at that! Fire dragons. Opened it on the page. Talk about Eldar. Right. There we go. Okay. Ibrasil. They're the handy ones. There you go. Right. Structured around a largely matriarchal society, Yggdrasil includes more female warriors within its ranks than any other craft world. For millennia uncounted, the Howling Banshees have formed the vanguard of Yggdrasil's war hosts, falling upon their foes amidst a cacophony of paralysing war cries. The legends of Yggdrasil tell of a pact their ancestors made with the goddess Morai Heg. 7 times 7 of Yggdrasil's warrior women became the crone's deathly handmaidens, so their sisters might enjoy especially long and fruitful lives free of her cursing touch. The craft world has a disproportionately high female population to this day. In these dark times, the people of Yggdrasil are driven to hunt for crone worlds, for they hope to secure not only the Tears of Isha, but also ancient technologies and doomsday artifacts with which to tip the balance of fate. Yggdrasil's rune, Wisdom from Pain, represents the tale of the crone Morai Heg, who convinced Cain to sever her hand that she might sup the wisdom in her own blood. Such are the sacrifices that must be made for enlightenment. There we go. That's Yggdrasil. Should we do some others? Yes, that'll give us 5 minutes, and then I need to do my usual halftime break. Eltansar. There's several of these that I've never said out loud, so you have to bear with me. Eltansar. When Slanesh surged into existence, Eltansar found itself on the cusp of the Eye of Terror. Oh, okay. Sounds like another craft world I know. Despite fighting valiantly over a period of 500 agonizing years, the craft world was swallowed by the warp. I remember these guys. Only the Phoenix Lord Morgan Ra appeared to have escaped. For millennia, Eltansar was considered lost. However, as the eye opened wide at the end of the 41st millennium, Morgan Ra undertook a great odyssey that culminated in the rescue of his lost people. Since their re-emergence, the people of Eltansar have been distrusted by their kin and viewed with suspicion. Some whisper that they are tainted by their ordeal, while others say they entered a dread pact with Iniad. Perhaps the rumours are based in truth, for the voices of Eltansar craftworlders are but whispers, and their pale, deathly features are those of ones trapped in a shadowy half-life. The world rune of the Eltansar is the Broken Chain. Once a reference to Kurnos and Isha's escape from the dungeons of Cain, this emblem has taken on a deeper meaning since Eltansar's mysterious escape from the Eye of Terror. There we go. That's Eltansar. Eltansar. I feel like it should be... why does that feel... Eltansar. No, that's what it is. Eltansar. Luganath. My favorite rune by far. I think of all the craft worlds, and that's coming from someone who loves what's that. I just think this is so pretty. It's gorgeous. Yes, Imlock. We'll get to Imlock. Imlock is how you say it. This is another one that I've definitely never said out loud. Imlock. I think this comes from when it's all based on Celtic, isn't it? The Eldar language, which has a really silly spelling situation going on. So, but Luganath, with their very cool rune, perceived as little better than piratical corsairs by other craft worlds. The Assyriani of Luganath foster close ties with the Harlequins and have largely abandoned the material realm as a lost cause and seceded into the Webway. Luganath's warriors enter real space only to raid for what they need, striking with a rapidity and suddenness impressive even for the Eldari. Reports of Corsair fleets operating out of Luganath are common, notably the Sunblitz Brotherhood, whose vessels often fight alongside those of Luganath's navy in times of war. Despite keeping such questionable company, Luganath's people bear no love for their dark kindred, the Drukhari, and the two have clashed on numerous occasions, both within the Webway and without. Luganath's name means Light of Fallen Suns. Their world rune, the Black Sun, is a reference to the lost glory of the original Eldari star system. If a viewer were to look far enough into the void, they would be able to perceive the last light of those dead stars, as close to a metaphor for hope as the Eldari of Luganath know. That's a terrible metaphor for hope, because you can't get there. That's speed of light and all that. But it's a nice little line. I like that. I like it when they make the effort to put in a little bit of science fiction into their sci-fi worlds, peering into the past by, anyway, faster than light speed travel, blah blah blah. Exciting stuff. Ilkaith are in an endless war against the dark gods. The Assyriani of Ilkaith are a keen and vengeful blade and will ally with Comora. Wow. And even the armies of mankind to see their goals achieved. Their impossible quest has doomed Ilkaith to generations of relentless warfare. Even the Craftworld's name, translated as knowledge of blood, has changed meaning. Where once their title spoke of the gifts passed down through the generations and the blessings of their ancestry, in the last few millennia it has become a promise of war. Once Ilkaith, it was renowned for the exquisite art of their bone singers. Now these same craftsmen have turned their skill to creating only weapons and accompany the war hosts to battle to heal wraith constructs and engines of Vol. The Eldari of Ilkaith take the helm of Eldanesh as their symbol. Myth tells the Assyriani gave Eldanesh this all-seeing helm, thanks to which he slew many terrible foes. Eldanesh used the helm to see his own future, and saw his death at the hands of Cain. To the Ilkaith, the symbol reminds them that knowledge can have a terrible cost. Bum, bum, bum. Should we do the last two? Aimlock. That's how I'm going to pronounce it from now on. Aimlock. The warsmiths of Aimlock toil endlessly to craft gigantic machines of destruction. Masterful and prolific in their efforts, they ensure that their war hosts are always furnished with the finest engines of Vol, and are able to field a great number of titans and super-heavy engines when they go to war. Aimlock's warriors are almost always delivered to battle aboard grav tank transports, while fire prisms and night spinners provide supporting fire. Though the wraith constructs of Aimlock are but few in number, there are tales among the Eldari that their weaponsmiths have created a new and devastating weapon powered by the souls of the dead. It is a device so terrible in potency that Aimlock have never dared to use it. It is whispered that it can scour entire continents of life in mere minutes, the souls of the living torn from their bodies by a vast ghost storm. The Crucible of Souls, the symbol of Aimlock, is the spiritual forge within which Vol created the 99 and 1 swords of Vol. For the Assyriani of Aimlock, this rune represents their belief that the fate of their race is still theirs to forge. Yes, indeed. I like their rune as well, and I like Mimira's. Mimira? I'll have to learn. Yeah. Sorry, I saw the thing. Maybe yeah, it would be cool to do some lore videos. I don't know what to add to the story, but something. Because there's lots of great lore video makers out there. But I would like to do that at some time, perhaps. Anyway, what was I saying? I like all of the symbols. Yes. All right. Let's do. That's what I was going to say. If I did do lore videos, I would have to learn how to say the names, wouldn't I? So anyway, Mimira. We're going with Mimira. That's what we're doing. After the fall, Mimira was cast far out into the galactic wilderness. For millennia, the Craftworld sailed the void alone, thinking themselves the last of the Eldari. Its citizens turned inwards, focusing upon the glories of the past, for they believed that without them, the memory of their race would fade away forever. During its long isolation, Mimira was forced to fight for its survival against rampaging orcs and the ever-expanding boundaries of the Imperium. In these bloody wars, a great number of Mimira's people fell, though they took many millions of enemies to the grave with them. Alone and outnumbered, the Craftworld learned well the ways of stealth and how best to conceal their world-ship. In time, fate reunited them with their kindred, who found them to be highly cunning and resourceful. The symbol of Mimira is the cursing eye. This is derived from ancient tales of Assyrian's deadly gaze, and perceives and kills in the same instant. It reminds those who wear it that an enemy revealed must be destroyed before it can threaten the noble Eldari race. Bum bum bum. Well, indeed. That was the minor craft worlds. And now that I've read it back, I remember them all because I did know about them. I'm not like a complete you know, there we go. Not a complete lazy bones with Eldar. I do like. Oh no, that won't stay in focus. All right, well that will be the thing. The reason I'm doing this, strange though it may seem, is because I'm going to stick on. Oh, where is it? This one, and then do that, and then do that, and then oh no, that's not going to work, is it? Let's do that instead. There we go. That sort of works. Probably a better place for it as well, but that'll do. Yeah, I need to take my little halftime break. Maybe I should mute the microphone because that first time we did this, and there was a nice chap who told me he could hear me peeing because the bathroom was next door to the office. But much needed. I want to throw my banshees. Yes. Oh, that's nice of you to say, Louis. I mean, yeah. I hope my voice is something, because you've got to listen to it a lot when you join for these doohickeys. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go for a second. I'll be back. I'm gonna get little out, put a little in, do all the business, and I'll see you guys in just a moment. Bye bye. Hello, I'm back. It's me, Mario. I'm not Mario, I'm Craig of GRG Miniatures. I hope everyone's getting plenty done. This is going back on, and that's going back on, because that's what we're here for. We're here to slay the grey. We're here to paint elves, or anything else you like, really, but post elves. Should we have a little conk? Should we have a am I coming through? Can you hear me? The audio streams current bitrate 0. That doesn't sound good. Sorry, YouTube is giving me terrifying messages. Open widget. We reckon it's 128. Well, I hope that's an old message, because I don't know how to fix that. Maybe it was because I muted the microphone. But yes, do tell me if you can't. It's very comfy. It's yeah, from Uniqlo, I think. That's the sound of me opening a can of water, can of orange. Oh wait, should we do the ASMR thing? Is that coming through? Can you hear that? No, it's too much foam. Ah! Yes. Well, indeed. What a naughty boy I am. But it is a Saturday night. I'm allowed to, aren't I? Surely. Let's get rid of that. Schwab. Okay. So I'm assuming that yup is yes, you can hear me. We hope so. I guess you would have told me by now if you couldn't hear me as well. So, all right. I'm going to have a little look-see over here quickly. Ah, yes, posting has been posted. Ah, yes, okay. Shall we have a look? Shall we have a look? Screen share. Swamp. Now look at that for a colour. Hooey! And this is brushwork, you said, I think, with a first coat with the brush. I'm assuming you mean like a brush, not an airbrush. That's impressive, because that's looking really strong and bold. What paint is that? Is that a GW paint? Whatever their turquoise is called. Probably like Gem of Blue Horn or something weird. That's my cat being weird. Speaking of being weird. Yeah, gorgeous, mate. I love that colour, and it seems like you've done a pretty fine job of getting that coat down. Yes, okay, here's the whites that the brother is testing, yeah. So I would love to know whether they're good or not. I guess we'll find out when brother has had a go. Kentai, are you in the chat? Who are you in the chat? And who are these chappies? Which craft world is this? This looks like a custom craft world, perhaps. Or is that black? It's a bit hard to tell in the photo, to be honest. But yes, anyway, they're looking ace. This crest is so cool. I sort of kind of wanted to use that crest on my guy as well, but I didn't. Beautiful. Love it. And some boys on bikes. Very nice, very nice. Pew, pew, pew. Sorry. I'm glad I'm not the only person who has to work at their computer desk as well, by the way. I dream of the day of having my own, like having my computer on it in a separate, it can be in the same room, but I just wish I had a full desk to paint on. That would be, wouldn't that be lovely? So yeah, one day. Lovely stuff here as well. This is all with same Kentai. That's another name that I think I'm not tying to a person who comes into the chat regularly. I feel like lovely as well. That's cool. What's that? That's like a kind of a a blue, like a blue-grey turquoise, not turquoise, but a blue-grey cobalty, whatever colour that is. Dry brush, I guess it looks like. Looks really nice over the black / dark blue. Again, photos, a bit hard to say. And science pie, nice progress is being made. That's good progress as well, actually. That's basically all of her bone bits, isn't it? I say her, I think I've said this before, my Wraithseer is specifically, in my head canon, a lady Wraithseer. So in my head, I just call all Wraithseers hers. I use the female pronoun for the ladies, for the Wraithseers. So apologies if I'm misgendering your Wraith. I promise I'm not doing it to be facetious or whatever. I don't know, Sorry, whilst I'm talking, I'm actually sorting out the camera for the overhead shot again. There we go. Because I'm about to do that. Ta-da! It's the desk again. All right. We've done some lore. We've done some painting. Oh, messages. No airbrush. Vallejo Jade Green. I think I've got that colour. And a lovely colour it is too, and it looks great. Yeah, that looks awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing that thing done. I'm sure you answer that every month, Gil. Well, the colour, yeah, probably. Alright, my brain is barely functional. That's just the way it is. That's the way I live my life, and you're joining me on the journey with a badly functioning brain. There's Lord in his name. This cloak. So do I. Yeah, you also think you answer it every month. Yes, well. Well, I'm trying to think of some kind of excuse. It's just because it's so nice that every time I see it, I am amazed and cannot believe that it could possibly be a colour that I know of. That's literally how bad. Do you not suffer? I find it's no, that's turquoise. sure I've got jade green here. Yeah, that one. See, I mean, part of the reason I can't believe you is because it looks quite different, but then they do sometimes look different. And then I find that this paint suffers from like a weird separation issue where I just cannot get it to mix properly. Maybe I need to get a ball bearing in there or something. It's never really a problem because it doesn't split to the point where smooth. Yeah, thanks. Smooth, unlike this paint. It never separates to the point where like you getting like gross water or whatever coming out the top like a thing of ketchup that's been sat in the fridge too long. You can just like mix it up on the palette, but I'm just curious if yours does the same or if I just got an old bottle or something. I don't know. I mean, all my bottles of Vallejo paints are pretty old now, just by dint of me having had them for a while, but yeah. Your experience of it. Vallejo's jade green. Accepting comments now. Alright, let's get back to these eyes. A little bit of red. Do 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 do. If there's any other lore that people want to explore in the book, let me know. Because I haven't read that book properly yet, I'm not going to lie. I read the bits that I was interested in, but I haven't done the full, like, sit down and read all the stories and all that. Yeah, red eyes. I think it's working. It'll be fine. It's always fine. It's just taken ages because, well, there's 8 of them and they're tiny little eyes. And it's kind of frustrating because they don't really read until you put the little spot of white and then all of a sudden they come alive, but I'm trying to batch them, so I'm not doing the spot of white because batch painting goes faster. Okay, what was that? Thinned my bottles, a little bit of retarder. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. Yeah, because it is quite thick, right? That's, yeah. Tips for eye lenses on Eldar masks. Well, so you want to paint them like you paint gems. So start with a darker colour, and then light it into the corner of the eye. And remember, lighter doesn't always mean adding white. And then a dot of white up in the other corner of the eye. So like I say, like you would paint a lens, but kind of maybe a bit on its side. Now they're very small. I know there's this sort of like general kind of like advice to use the biggest brush you can, but I just think use the best brush for the job is probably better advice. So do use your little tiny brush. If you struggle with the kind of close work like this, there are ways of getting around doing this kind of blending stuff by flooding a little bit. So thin down your paint and then flood it onto the lens and then draw your brush up where you want the paint to gather, and then that can give you like a gradation. And because of the water's what do you call it, water tension, surface tension, it doesn't, I can't really, I wish I could show you, but I just don't get good enough quality yet on my equipments. One day I'll be able to throw some big money at a decent camera, and a decent graphics card so that I can stream it with my decent camera. But yeah, you can thin down your paint like perhaps a little more than you think you should, and then flood it into the lens by touching it, and then draw your brush out. Cat, shush. No one is interested in your story. Everyone's listening to my story. Why do you sound so sad, Cat? Nothing's wrong, baby. I promise. It's all fine. Yeah. Flood with a slightly wet brush, pull out towards the edge, and then kind of wait. And then the last thing I would say is what I said earlier, which is do the eyes first, so that when you make a big mess like I just did, That actually worked quite well. I might do the rest of them like that. I've been trying to be clever and do it the manual way of like doing the usual, but that's actually probably looks better. I think I'm going to take my own advice. Thanks for that, Science Spy. The other thing to say about that flooding technique is that you might find like, oh, that looks really good, and then you put it down, you come back 2 minutes later, and you're like, oh, I can't. It doesn't look any different than it did before. That'll be because when paints are very thinned, the issue. Message retracted. What was that, sir? When paints are very thinned, the thing that you get where they dry a different color becomes worse. So you might have to do it a couple of times, but don't sweat it. Ooh. Okay. The other thing about doing the flooding thing is that you can potentially cheat a little bit of glow as well. That's how people do that, where you don't tidy it up so much, and the overspill of the flooded color sort of looks a little bit like glow. Not something that I do very regularly, so I won't pass comment on what it looks like or how easy it is to do. But maybe worthwhile trying. Alright. I'm making a bit of a mess, but as I said, it is all fixable at a later date. Ooh, too much. Wick away the paint. Okay. Yeah, I think it looks like something. That's definitely going faster, so, and faster is better in this case. Have I done you? Alright. I might just have to move on to doing something a bit more exciting soon, because I'm going to go mad. Bum 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 ba-diddle-dim ba-dum bum. Let me just close that down. Right, yes, cool. Where are we up to? Who's a boot? What's going on? There's a lot less lore in the newer books. Yeah, there is. It's kind of sad. I think I would like. I mean, yeah. I don't know what the. I guess they just want to save pages for art and all that kind of stuff. They don't want to make people read so much. Maybe, I don't know. But when I look through the old codexes, seeing all of that juicy lore pleases me greatly. Yeah, because that's a big part of the hobby, at least for me, and I think for a lot of people. I suppose it helps that it's also maybe partly like because I think they're more like written by committee now. They used to be written by like a person, right? And that's how the codexes used to go, which is crazy. Or at least they used to be credited to one or two people, sometimes three maybe, I think. But Gav Thorpe, is that the guy that used to do like all of the old codexes? And I'm sure they were making the law decisions kind of as a committee and what have you, but yeah, I don't know. Somehow I feel that would affect it. Right. So close, but so far. Let's have a look. Actually, we've got the old codex. So, second Ed Eldari codex. There it is. Beautiful. Rick Priestley, yes. But there you go. See, look, by Rick Priestley. And then you've got cover art and artwork. And then stories by Bill King. But that's it. So all of the rules and stuff, assumedly he was checking them with other people in the company, but all this stuff is written by one guy. It's crazy. I mean, it's, I don't know what it is in terms of word count and what have you. Still, it's a pretty, it's like at least a novella's worth of... Nah, it's got to be more than that, hasn't it? Like a short novel's worth of text, maybe? I don't know. Good on you, Rick. And I don't think that was the only one he wrote. Gav Thorpe's the guy who does all the Black Library books, right? I'm not going crazy. He is involved in lore in a sense, but I think Rick Priestley's the guy who did a lot of the old codexes. I don't know. Those guys have got good videos on that. Codex compliant guys. Snipe and... What's the guy's name? I can't remember. And those are good videos, actually. I only started watching them. Beep, beep, beep. Dum, dum, dum. Oh no. I'm messing up the eye. I'm going to catch up with you in a second, chat. Sorry, I'm just screwing up my eyes. Meh. It's okay. Right. Bum, bum, bum. Rick Priestley, wasn't he master of IP? You mean intellectual property IP? 4? Is that how they did it? But that can't. Would they give him the credit for the whole book just because he's the one who did the final kind of checking or whatever? That seems unfair. What I heard, which was kind of sad to hear, is that they stopped crediting specific designers, artists, writers in codexes and stuff. Obviously, the novels they have to, because that's just how publishing works. But for everything else, what I heard was that everyone thinks that it's big mean corporate GW, but apparently the reason they stopped crediting people was because some toxic members of the fan base were being mean when they didn't like the way something had been written, or how a character had changed, or the rules had changed for something, and they would be specifically mean to the individuals who were deemed responsible for the slight. That's true. That sucks. And isn't it rubbish that there are people like that in the world? It's like Star Wars fan base as well. And there are some people there. I mean, I'm not a big Star Wars person, but from the bits and pieces I've seen online, some people just can't have fun, can they? They've got to make it difficult. Why? Just chill out and enjoy it. Right, I'm doing my white dots. I don't care what anyone says. It's white dot time. Tell you what, it's only taken one beer for this to be difficult. Oh dear me, Craig. Maybe you shouldn't do white dots. White dots can happen at a later date. Let's do some edge highlighting. So, I think this is a better yellow. And again, we're mixing with the wrong... Not even one beer. Half a beer. Let's mix with a bigger brush, because it's easier. Matt Ward got death threats. Good lord. Imagine that. Imagine being someone who would send someone death. I mean, this isn't the usual vibe that I like to go with for these, because I like to just keep it positive and happy, because that's the kind of people we are, right? But, to have a bit of a rant, if I may. What kind of an absolute idiot do you have to be to send someone a death threat about toy soldiers? I'm sorry, guys. I know we're all into this hobby and stuff, but ultimately that's what it is. It's silly stories and toy soldiers. Like, crikey. You have to be a real... Well, I don't know. I mean, some people have, other things going on. I suppose I shouldn't be... Well, should I be judgmental? I don't know. Someone give me the moral compass on this. I just feel like I should judge that person for being a complete doofus. but maybe I should be compassionate, because like you wouldn't do that if you were in your right mind, right? You wouldn't send someone a death threat for basically anything if you were in your right mind, let alone toy soldiers and sci-fi stories. Absolute madness. Yeah, it's crazy. And yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, it's my policy to try and dear me, Craig, as much as possible approach things with compassion. You know, you don't want to go off the rails about someone just because you misunderstand where they're at, and maybe they just need a little bit of help and all the rest of it. But that does seem beyond the pale, as they might say. Hello, Science Pie. You've missed thrilling pulling apart of crazies who say crazy things to people. That wasn't a very good summary, was it? Well, you just have to go back and watch. Wasn't Matt Ward the guy who wrote about a generic Marine taking on an Avatar 1v1? Okay, maybe he deserves a death threat. No, sorry, that I shouldn't joke about that. No, don't send death threats to anyone. That is obviously stupid. And people who do that, like the writers who do that kind of stuff, you know, I'm not going to get. I'm going to turn into the exact arseholes I've just been talking about. I mean, come on, pay attention to the lore, guys. The Avatar is the shard of a god. How could a one Marine take him on? And if you're just doing that because you want the Marines to be glorious, then we have a problem. But yeah, obviously he doesn't deserve a death threat for being he may have been a silly Billy with regards to the law, but that is not real world death threat worthy behaviour. Is anything what's worth a death threat? This seems such a weird, like, well, bizarre behaviour for any human being to do to any other human being. What are you? Well, anyway. Madness. Pure madness. I mean, I get cross. Everyone gets cross, but taking the time out of your day to write a letter saying, I'm going to kill you? Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. And again, I'll say, doing that over toy soldiers and sci-fi stories. Beyond bizarre. I even have sort of some sympathy for people who get... I used to have no sympathy for people who got mad about like TV shows and that kind of stuff. And there's not like... It's not like, oh, and then I watched Game of Thrones and I was like, yeah, we should all be mad about TV shows, because ultimately it's a TV show. Or, you know, it's a game or whatever it is. But I have some sympathy for it. If you devote a lot of your kind of recreational time to a particular hobby or whatever, and then you feel like the creators are not doing it justice, or they're not... But the thing is like, you know, I don't know who ultimately has the right to say what is the right thing. This professional writer? But are they being... is the professional writer being sort of bullied into doing certain things by the company? Or, you know, I don't know. It's complicated, isn't it? It's complicated. Oh my lord. Alright, it sounds like our good friend Matt Walsh has something of a problem with OPing his Space Marines in his literature. So perhaps he does need to get a handle on that habit of his. This is the thing as well. I mean, this is so... you know, What's-Her-Face talks about this, doesn't he? Arbiter Ian. If you don't watch his stuff, you should. It's a really, really interesting channel. Really interesting because I don't even like he's doing a series on Horus Heresy, and it strikes me that that's kind of perhaps more his bag, his old hammery things, and like, yeah, all that kind of jazz. But anyway, he's got what was I talking about? What was I talking about? Space Marines, Arbiter Ian. Oh no, I really have lost the thread. Oh my god, I've had 5 mouthfuls of beer and I completely lost the thread on what I was talking about. Anyway, go watch Arbiter Ian, he's good. It's because I got distracted by the fact that I'm taking way longer on the edge highlights than I was expecting to on this one little model. Yeah. The only time I ever properly complained to GW was after Blood of the... Oh, I've remembered what my point with Arbiter Ian was. Alright, so let me do that and then I'll respond to chat. So he talked about... Has it gone again? Have I forgot? What is going on with my brain? He talked about... there you go, the bad guys. Yes, alright. So the Imperium, how the Imperium of mankind has changed over the years in the way that GW presents and interprets it, from the early days of being so obviously satire and like so obviously, you know, not something to aspire to, you know, ugly, and like Space Marines were barbaric. I mean, in Rogue Trader, like Space Marines were awful, like just they were supposed to be barely controllable, more like kind of, I suppose, Thunder Warriors in current lore, if you know what that is. Yeah, and then slowly over time they've kind of built them up as like these heroic figures. And the point that Arbiter Ian makes is that they've kind of backed themselves into a corner because, you know, the Imperium of mankind is not a nice place. And, well, we are unfortunately aware that there are lots of people who will use the fantasy world to explore ideas that really are best left to history, shall we say. But yeah, in GW sort of quest to find heroic kind of images, they may have scuppered their chances of being able to convincingly tell us, no, but it is satire, you know. Well, guys, if that's the case, Space Marines better lose sometimes, and they better, you know, well, yeah, be presented as the monsters that they are. Anyway, that's very deep. It is a Saturday night, Craig. You know what it is? It's that bloody beer again. I mean, not beer, because I don't think I'm allowed to drink beer on YouTube. I don't know if I am. Hey, it's a Dargo. Hello, Dargo. How are you, sir? Glad you could join us. Are you working on anything, sir? Or are you just having a little nosy and seeing what we're doing? Missed you in the what's face recently. I suppose you're a busy boy for some reason or other. What happened with Blood of the Phoenix? I don't know. I mean, I think I've spoken about this before, but I rejoined the hobby after an absence, and Blood of the Phoenix was just before I rejoined, basically. And I know that there was like brouhaha. Is that the word? There was people took issue with Blood of the Phoenix for some reason, but I don't know what that issue was. And I never read it. I never like picked up the book or anything, because, as I say, it was before my rejoin. Yeah, this is taking bloody ages, but I like the way it's looking. Is that going to focus? You're not going to pick that up. He's looking a lot sharper, I'll tell you. Oh, she in this case. Yeah, a lot going on. Well, I feel you. I feel you, friend. I feel you. I've been doing all sorts of funny projects. The named character for Harlequin's thing as well, Gil. I mean, yeah. Again, like obviously, as you said, sending the distance between being annoyed and sending death threats is massive. But yeah, I was like, what? Why does the Imperium get a named Harlequin character? That is so bizarre. But it's service to the books, but yeah. Bloody ridiculous. Unforgivable. I don't remember who wrote it, but I remember reading something about two Harlequins, Death Jester and a Shadow Weaver, that somehow made their way into the Imperial Palace and made their way to the Emperor's throne room while killing 25 plus custodies. Power level is low as all over the place. Yes, sir, it is. Although pre-nerf, my painting off camera here. This codex, pre-nerf Harlequins, maybe they could have done that. I don't know. Gil, why don't you tell us? You play bloody custodies, ain't you? Ah, yes. Oh, that looks nice. Can you? Oh, you're not going to get the detail. Boo to my paltry equipment. What I'm doing, so I'll talk it. I mean, most of you should be looking at your own minis anyway. Is I'm just laying in a very thinned orange glaze into the scaly bits on this model, and it's just giving me a little bit of recess shading. It looks rather nice, I think. Yeah, sounds like proper power level. I agree. Overpowered space elves, that's what we're here for. That's what we want. Come on, GW. Enough with the Space Marines. Alright, I'm mixing up an orange highlight. It's a little bit of cooler yellow and the orange from that set. Let's see what that looks like. That's so good. What's going to help me here? There is an insect. Oh dear, this isn't very nice. There seems to be an insect trapped in my paint. Come on, buddy. Out you come. There we go. Oh dear. Oh, he's not happy. Oh dear. Oh, I'm sorry, bud. I don't know what to do for it. I'm going to pop you on the side. There you go. I hope you can clean the paint off. Oh dear. Sorry. Yeah. There was a tiny little fly. Let's try brightening that up a bit. We're getting to the absolute rambliest portion of the evening, it seems. What time is it? 10 o'clock? Yeah, 10 past 10, that's about when it normally happens. So apologies for that. You'll have to excuse my rambles as the evening progresses. Coherency reduces. Let's see. I've got an assist going on from the side. Oh yeah, kit bashes. I think we lost. Did we? I think we lost Baharoth, King of the Kit Bashers. But has anyone else been working on some? I saw someone else. There was the one already, wasn't there? Oh yeah, someone was talking about kit bashing some bike. Oh, there was loads of kit bashes actually. There was the bike warlocks that was in there, and there was someone had done something else as well. Someone had done yes, these guys, fire dragons out of melters and doohickeys. Dire Avengers. The well-known doohickey, a Dire Avenger. Okay. You know, I like the way it looks. It's just taken a long time with these guys, because these Artel fire drakes, or whatever they call them, I've got a serious amount of edges to highlight, and that is the look that I'm going for. And edge highlighting generally looks pretty good if you do it in a controlled way. But hooey, they got scales, they got edges. It's going to take me a while to do this whole squad. I can tell already. Oh no, this is supposed to be a quick job. Let's see what happens if we, out of curiosity, throw some magenta into some shadows. Just out of curiosity. I love kit bashing Lumineth with craft rails. Oh yes, that is a good look. Yeah, I wish I had some brain space to, like, oh my, that looks interesting. I wish I had some brain space to get into kit bashing a bit more. I just spend too much of my time thinking about painting. And like, I think when I sit down at my desk, I'm like, the first thing that I want to pick up is not the clippers and files. I have a bad association with those tools. But paintbrush, oh, I enjoy that. But then I see these awesome kit bashes and I'm like, oh, I want to do that. So yeah, I need to actually, and then so the other thing that I've looked at recently that I'm like, that looks like fun, is what's his name? Roman Laplante, is that right? This is a guy, I know him on Instagram. I mean, I don't know him, I follow him on Instagram. Although I did have a little brush with Stardom because he left a comment on a post I put once. It was like, this is really cool. I was like, ooh, it's a comment from that guy. That's really cool. Anyway, so yes, he does these like little like not landscapes, these little painting things. Like, it's a picture frame basically, with miniatures in it, and he makes like little kind of picture frame dioramas. And I thought that looks like a really fun project, so I might steal that and do one of those. Maybe an Eldar one, because he does Space Marine ones and like fantasy ones. That could be fun. Maybe we'll do that. But yeah, kit bashing itself, something I wish I was better at. Let's say that. Let's leave it at that. Alright, I'm getting distracted by my own miniature. What's going on in the world of you dudes? We have propaganda poster here. Death Guard incoming. Death Guard incoming. What are you talking about, man? I will never paint a sword again. Oh no, why not? This model takes a lot of time. Yes, I shared some kit bashes. Alright, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the kit bashes. Oh yeah, okay. Let's do a little swapsy. Swoop. Look at that. That is awesome. What is going on here? So we've got a little dude doing it. He's doing like a little standy stand, and then this is a piece of scenery. Now, there you go. I've registered it now. Okay, cool. And is that I see that helmet a lot. That's a Drukhari helmet, right? Yeah, nice. And did you change some of this? This is Eldar stuff at the ends of these little danglies. But yeah, I recognize I can't remember what he's called, but I recognize the Lumineth model that's forming like the base, the body, and all that, and all this fantastical. I mean, that's a serious collar. You know you're dealing with someone who's powerful when they've got a collar on like that. And a pink owl. I mean, Burb Hammer. That's where it's at. That's the trend for the 21st century. Decided. Birds in Warhammer. Lovely. And these chappies. This model, when this came out, I was like, oh man, do I have to start a Lumineth army? Because it is so cool. So I'm trying to work out where the kit bash is on this chappie. Because he's pretty like what he is, right? But then is the sword different? I'm not sure, I don't know, but he looks awesome. Whatever he is, he's awesome. And this sword is definitely an Eldar sword in the back there, right, on this lady. And And she's got a shuriken. Oh, he's got a shuriken. What's face as well? He's got a shuriken catapult as well. So there you go. Okay, now I understand. Now I see. Yeah, nice. Love them. Gorgeous. Oh, more. Oh my lord. This is. Wait, I'll get it right. It's Louis, right? There you go. Yes. Oh, you got some Japanese going on in the background there as well. Kiyusu, what's that? Kiyusu, derute, nantoka mushio. What is that in the background? I lived in Japan for 10 years, so if you're wondering what the hell just happened there, this is very cool. Look at that. There's the helmet again, looking awesome. So, I do not wish to alarm you, but is that a piece of sprue between his things, or is that a piece of the kit? I'm not sure. Leave it there. I think you could paint it as a gem, and it would, you'd get away with it. But I've got a feeling that might be sprue. But very cool. And the cloak, is that his cloak, or is that someone else's cloak? Awesome. And then also, God, there's all sorts going on with this one, right? Because that body looks like it's from the new, one of the new Autarchs, I think. Am I going crazy? I don't know. Looks awesome. It looks like it could be a Shining Spears Phoenix Lord kind of a thing. Yeah. This is still not helping me with the Japanese in the background. So, anyway, sorry. No, what am I doing? Yeah, very cool. And there he is again. Look at those wings in the background too. That's cool. Love it. And that spear, I guess, is that from the new Shining Spears? Is there a better picture of it? Can't tell from here either. Nice sword holster, Captain. No, is that? I don't know what that is. Explain yourself. Explain yourself in the comments. Okay. Sorry, I'm reading this business about. He's a work in progress. That's why it's still there. Yeah, they look great, and yours too, Science Bite. Look absolutely awesome. He's a bone singer. Okay. He's just got a shuriken pistol. Nice. Yeah. Yes, I lived in Japan for 10 years. My husband is Japanese. I read and speak Japanese. So if you ever need that in your life, let me know. Yeah. And then I came back to the UK just before COVID. It's not wildly inappropriate. I don't know what Kyusu is. I mean, I say I read and speak Japanese, but I don't know what Kyusu is. I'll have to ask Isak, my husband. Deru tea, does it say in the background? Looks like a foodstuff to me, but I don't know. Explain yourself, Louis. What strange products are you hiding? Or not hiding? What strange products are you specifically not hiding? Chung, chung. I'm painting off camera again, beg your pardon. Just throwing on some edge highlights here. Yeah, I wasn't into Warhammer at all in Japan, so I'd be curious to know what the scene is like. They have Japanese translations on all their stuff, so someone's playing it out there. But hey, GW, if you need a Japanese speaker, hit me up. I'll take on any freelance work. That would be a nightmare, but hopefully it is a Japanese teapot box. Ah, okay. For Saru. Yes, indeed. Well. This orange is not working for me. Work for me, orange. Work for me. That one as well. Okay. Cues. There we go. Yeah. Sorry. Oh no, it's definitely getting, yeah, okay. It's getting to the where I have to remind myself that I should probably say something. Lol. Alright. Progress is being made on these guys. They're just not quite popping as much as I'd like them to. I don't know. Not sure what I'm getting wrong here. not everything has to be like. I mean, they are poppy because they're orange and red. So but I just feel like there's just something that I'm missing on them. They're going to come into focus. I haven't done anything on those, on the hair. Yeah, it's looking alright. They're looking alright. Oh, you know what else it is? I think it's because I don't have any contrasting colours yet, because I'm doing my analogous scheme here. But I am going to do the spirit stones, and the gems are going to be, I think we're going to go with green on these, because that keeps me, it's not quite, if you look at if you look at the color wheel above my head, so I'm in the kind of from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock region of that, right? Now you could jump over to 7-8 o'clock and do blue, but I'm not sure that's what I want to do. I think I just need to expand out the horizons a little bit into 11 o'clock, so greens, and I think that will look, that's what will look the coolest for these. So I think when I do things like put on green spirit stones and stuff, then that should start making them look like something. Give them a little bit of extra kick. Anyway, this is me musing on colour schemes again, which may be not the most riveting thing. Jade green spirit. You know what? I mean, jade green takes it all the way around to like 9 o'clock on the colour wheel, right? I was thinking more like the 11 o'clock region, so a warmer green basically. But I might be tempted by a little jade green, and then next month when I show these off and be like, oh look, I finally got these done, guys, you can be like, hey Craig, what's that colour? And you can get me back for all the times I've asked you that question. Ooh, no, too much, come back. Alright, and a bit of orange to patch up that. Boop boop. No, it's not. You know you want it indeed. You know you want it. Doop 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 doop. No, I'll have to fix that later. Right, so let me talk about this, because this really annoyed me. And since we were moaning about GW, we should moan about some other company as well, just for fairness. And it's not the company who made the miniature, because the miniature's great. I have no problem with the miniature so far, at least. I can't show you, but this is something that's been discussed by, I think, at least one YouTuber that I know of. But I think it needs a little bit more airtime, because it's important. If you're going to buy Army Painter speed paints, you should know this about them. They reactivate something horrendous. They like, you can leave them for a million years. Oh shit, oh man, have I been sat there? You go. Now, how long's that been going on for? Well, you guys are all looking at your minis anyway, right? Never mind. Okay, so yeah, so these Army Painter speed paints are good. They're cheaper than GW's contrast paints. They've got a nice range of colours. They all behave very similarly, unlike GW paints. Apparently, I haven't actually used contrast paints. So I was really excited about these, and I was really happy with them for like the first little bit that I used them. But then as soon as you put anything else wet on them with a brush, they will rip, tear, reactivate, run, and what have you. And there doesn't seem to be a time limit on that, which, like, you can leave them for a long time when any other acrylic paint would be well and truly dry, and nope, they will reactivate again, and they will look perfectly dry. They'll also like reactivate inks underneath them a little bit, it seems, from my experience. So they'll like get into the ink, and then when you wet with something else over the top, like trying to paint, acrylic, not regular acrylic paints, they reactivate. Anyway, that's not a good look for a paint reactivation. I understand that the kind of philosophy of these is that they're one coat paints, but come on, that's not how people, not everyone's going to use them like that. So bad form for that not being clear, I think. That said, go over them with, well, the only one I've tried so far is the super matte varnish from whoever makes super matte varnish, AK Interactive. Go over it with that, and that seems to solve the problem. But it's an extra step. It's not something that I particularly want to think about. Maybe tell people. I don't know. They can't really tell people. That would be bad business, I guess. But I was very disappointed with that. It seems like quite a serious flaw in the paint, and yet. Yeah, thanks guys. Sorry that I completely missed the what screen I was on. At least it wasn't some embarrassing screen, some Japanese product that everyone's pretending is not. Well, I'll leave that one hanging. It wasn't. It was an innocent product. So according to AP, that's as per design. Yeah, that's not true. That can't be true. You wouldn't. Why would you design a paint to do that? And sorry, I saw what you said there, Gil, about drying, but that wasn't. So I don't know. That wasn't my experience. To be honest, my experience was I had left them. I don't think quite overnight, but I'd left them like a long time, and they ripped and lifted up inks below them. So I can't show you because I can't get the lighting and stuff. But this lady on her chest is pulled back all the way to the very first layer of paint I did on her when I tried to brush something over. So yeah, I thought I would mention that. And I mean, like, I'm still like glad I have them, because they are really, really useful for certain jobs, and you just need to varnish it. Unlike everything else I've ever worked with, like I don't varnish oils, I don't varnish acrylics unless I want the finish, I don't varnish my inks, which some people do. I don't varnish anything unless I'm looking for the finish that the varnish gives you. But these guys need varnishing, in my experience. Do 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 do. Alright. So I spent about 1 million years on one model. I swear it's a default. They also reactivate when spraying with varnish. Okay, well, so I didn't experience that. I can imagine it being a thing. I can see that being a thing, because, why wouldn't they when they reactivate with everything else? But luckily, when I went over, pretty gently, because I was worried about them reactivating, they seemed to be okay. But yeah, time will tell. Use them more. But yeah, if they're trying to sell that as like what they're supposed to do, that's a bad look as well. I think, you know, they can't really afford to go back to the drawing board with the whole recipe, I guess, but can they release their own varnish, make some more money from there? Well, anyway, I will continue to use them because I don't hate them, but I think it's because they were so hyped by a lot of creators online as well. And that's not me bad-mouthing them, you know, this isn't something that you would necessarily notice if you were just doing tests and just using them as it's kind of stated on in the literature, if you like, you know, like use this paint to speed paint things. Yeah, you might not notice that reactivation issue. So I'm not trying to say, oh, YouTuber X and YouTuber Y, they should have told us about this, they're shills or whatever. It's all about the love. I don't think that's what people have been doing, but yeah, it would have been nice to know before it screwed up one of my Corsair models and stopped me painting them for how long it's been since I painted them. Yeah, but that's a silly excuse as well. You shouldn't be demotivated just because something doesn't go right. Bum bum bum. What's going on? I swear it is. Yeah. Just do these streams more often. Oh, that's kind of you to say. I mean, I was doing more streams actually, like quite a while ago now. But if you look in the thing, or maybe you don't mean me. Maybe you just mean Eldar. More Eldar streams. If that's the case, then I'll shut up. But yeah, I mean, just on the streaming thing generally, I was doing more streams, but and I do enjoy them because I like the talking. The problem is that I paint like crap on stream because my camera setup isn't great for it. I'm concentrating on trying to, like, you know, not be entertaining or whatever, but you're talking, which is not something I normally do when I paint and what have you. So, and then I was, you know, because I was doing a lot of commission painting and trying to make YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff. So I stopped streaming for that reason. And so like this once a month feels like the right balance at the minute for what I can do, like, and not being funny, but how much time I can afford to give over to, because a video a week is it's pretty intense, actually. It can be pretty intense, and I'm not doing a video a week like to try and game the algorithm or any of that crap. I'm doing it because I started doing it and I was like, I'm going to be a good boy about this and I'm going to try and keep this up because it's enjoyable, and you know, it's something that it's like a good goal to have. Basically, it's a good, you know, one of those things that you make yourself do, like going to the gym or whatever, even on the days you don't feel like doing it, kind of thing. But if I did that and streamed regularly, I think my husband would divorce me. Basically. No, that's not true. He's very supportive, but you know, got to do the other things. Anyway, but I hope, you know, one day we'll have a bit more time to devote to these sorts of things. Perhaps, who knows? Stranger things have happened at sea. All right, it is 22:38. We are painting the sky still, and have been for a million years. All right, so we're going to do a little. We are going to go back to the other video, and we're going to vindicate Louis because he's finally posted the full thing. So I can tell you as a fluent Japanese speaker that this says very embarrassing sex toy. There you go. So that's the official translation of that. As someone who speaks Japanese, that's a fact. You can bank that. So thanks for sharing that, and I'm glad you're so open about the frankly depraved things that you get up to, Louis. Oops, sorry, was that mean? what it actually says is okay, so it's a specific kind of teapot, basically. Deruti F. Hold on here. It is a teapot. He did say it was a teapot, and that is what it is. I'm not sure what that. Anyway, it's for like some kind of tea that I don't really understand. I'll be entirely honest. How did I like living in Japan? I loved living in Japan. I mean, it's awesome. It's how can I describe it? It's a very, obviously, like, you've got the language barrier and you've got some cultural, like, I wouldn't say cultural barriers, but there are cultural differences that you have to sort of learn to adjust to, as you would if you were living in any other country. But my lord, talk about a place that is like easy to live in. I mean, the public transport works. We had, like, my poor husband, God love him, is just suffering with the British postage service. They just seem to want to screw him over. I order a lot of stuff, and I tend to be all right. Like, it arrives, probably on time. I have one nightmare situation going on at the moment with a undelivered item for a commission job, and I really feel for the guy whose stuff it is, but it's like, oh, I painted it and I sent it, I don't know what else I can do. Which is going to be returned, hopefully, maybe by the post office one day, perhaps. Anyway, but compared to what my dear goes through, I'm staying off his name just because, privacy and all that. Like, it's just like us being at home all day and stuff like supposed to have been delivered, and then and you go downstairs and it's just got the note saying you missed the delivery. Is like, literally, we have been here all, like, it's Corona. We haven't left the house in weeks. That kind of stuff. Anyway, so the reason I'm saying that, sorry, is because, like, that kind of stuff in Japan, in terms of service, you'll never, I don't think there's another, I haven't been to all the countries, I don't know, but I'm assuming there is no country that does it quite as well as Japan does. And it's always clean, and people are basically always nice and polite. They might not necessarily be friendly in but they'll always be polite. So yeah, it's awesome. And whatever you do, I think if you can get a chance to visit Japan, living there is not necessarily an option for most people, but it is well worth a visit, because it's, this may be a bit sort of a bit of a big thought, but it's, I think that with something that makes Japan interesting is that a lot of the industrialized countries and post-industrialized countries are kind of European or Europe derived, right? So I'm thinking of, like, all of the European countries and America, and to find a really, like, properly kind of post-industrial nation that is outside of that European sphere of influence, it's kind of hard. But you do get it in Japan. So you have all of the kind of trappings of a post-industrialized country, but coming from a slightly different perspective, because it's, on the other side of the world, different culture and all that. So that is super interesting as well, seeing how kind of those sort of societies can be in a way that is not European. I'm sure there are other places in the world like that as well that I don't know about. Sorry, I don't want to, like, my ignorance is not the end of all knowledge. But yeah, anyway, it's cool. I loved Japan. I loved living there. We decided to come do England, at least for a little while, for various reasons. Timing was a bit weird with Brexit and coronavirus, but there you go, that's life. And there's lots of stuff that I'm really enjoying about being back in the UK as well. I don't think people realise how good pubs are. You go live in another country, in a country without like a proper British style pub for 10 years, come back and you'll be like, oh man, pubs are mint. There are things about Japanese like restaurants and stuff that I miss. Like Japanese drinking establishments, it's easier to talk to strangers, generally, because they tend to be a lot smaller. And so you kind of are sat at the bar with everyone. That's not, there are places that are not like that, but the good places are like that in Japan, in Tokyo. And so that's, it's kind of easier to make friends in that respect, because you just go to the bar and you all end up talking to some rando, which pubs lack a little bit, I think. But that said, a good pub on a sunny day, that is a rare pleasure. I'm really in the weeds on this guy. Louis was in Kumamoto. I was in Tokyo the whole time I lived there. That's a big regret. I wish I'd travelled more whilst I lived there. But you live in a country and it's very different to visiting it. You've got bills to pay. You've got visas to apply for. You've got all that. So yeah. So I never got to Kumamoto, which is, by all accounts, a very beautiful part of Japan. Lots of old temples and foresty mountains and that kind of stuff, right? And Japan's most popular mascot, I believe, though I'm no expert. Only pubs that are better. The only pubs that are better. Yeah, I mean, Ireland is a place that I would love to spend some time in as well, actually. Because that looks. There are some. I've seen photos of some of like particularly southern parts of the Republic of Ireland that look absolutely gorgeous. Idyllic. Been around the world? Well. In that case, have you been to Japan, Dargo? Shoop. Ding, ding, ding. Ah, okay. Yes, you must go. Oh, you didn't leave Kyushu either, Louis. Yeah, I mean, there you go. That's it, isn't it? When you live there, that's how it goes. Drinking some water. Alright, I will warn you, chappies, that the time is 10 to 11 on Saturday the 23rd of April 2022. And we will be winding things up. So if you want to show your progress, get in that Discord server and post some pictures of your minis. That's what I want to see. I want to see your minis. Show me your minis. I'm really just futzing over one model now, doing things that it would take me a million years to do if I do all of them like this. But hey, that's part of the fun. Just adding some black lining. I mentioned this in my last video, I believe. Something that I saw Sergio Calvo talk about. And we do tend to sort of outline things in miniature painting anyway, because we're adding like washes and that kind of stuff. But he talked about really specifically going in and it's not necessarily going to be black every time, because black might be too strong a color, but really going in and even on like display models and stuff and outlining stuff, because I think it does two things. One, it sort of imitates the very dark crevice shadows that you get naturally, and two, it sort of informs our brain. It sort of speaks to the illustration part of our brain a little bit and says, hey, this is like an illustration. It's a kind of a fantasy thing that's a little bit more real than real and all that kind of stuff. Because if you look at a lot of illustration work, it'll have not necessarily like realistic outlining on stuff like comic book and that kind of stuff. Anyway, so get a very thin brush, get a slightly watered down black or dark paint depending on what it is you're painting, and just run it around those edges a little bit. Looks good. It looks good. Alright. Got to be quite relatively careful and delicate with it though, because you don't want it to look like you've got like big black marks. But like, can you see that? So no black lining. It looks harsher in the video. I mean, and obviously this lady's got a whole bunch of other work that's been done on her as well that just adds that extra level of definition. Yeah, and it doesn't look quite as stark in the real world as well. I like it. I like how it looks. Gil lived in Dublin, nice, and travelled most of Ireland. Strongly recommend seeing the southern parts. Yeah, okay, that's on the list. It's on the list. It is a thing that shall be done. Ushibuka, a little fishing village next to Kumamoto. Wow, okay. I do not know Ushibuka. Yes. More bone layers, so it looks exactly the same. Yeah, well, welcome to the joys of painting bone. Oh my lord, it drives me mad. So Louis, are you in Japan now? I'm confused. You're welcome any day, just tell me so I can take holidays from work, mate. Or are you going to show him around Japan? I don't know what's going on. I'm lost. And literally the conversation is right there for me to read, but you know, a stream of me reading your conversations is probably slightly less interesting. Yeah, I want to go. So I've been to Denmark, Gil, and because I got married in Denmark. I got married on the island, and forgive my pronunciation here, of Ærøskøbing, which I'm sure in true Danish fashion is probably pronounced something like Hørsum, something like that, right? That's how you Danes speak, innit? So that was the one and only time, and Ærøskøbing was absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if it's famous, but it's a little island where lots of people get married because for folk in a situation like me and my husband, so like, you know, we've got a bi-national relationship and same-sex marriage and all that kind of stuff, it can actually be difficult to find places to get married, and also sort of further complicated by the fact that we were moving at the time, and my nationality is actually not British, even though I basically am British, but my passport is not. Anyway, so the place that we could get married was Denmark. So that's where we got married, and I would love to go back to Ærøskøbing for like an anniversary or something, because it was such a cute little island. There's like nothing to do there, from what I can tell, but I don't care. You go there and you just enjoy the sun and the beautiful views for a couple of days, but also Copenhagen, which we stopped over in, which I believe the Danish pronounce Köln, Sorry. That's how it all sounded on the trains and stuff when they announced the stops and stuff. It would be written like, you know, Copenhagen Central in English, and then the announcing lady would be like, "K." Where are all the letters? Surely you must say some of the letters. Yes. So I will take you up on that, Gil. Is a long way of saying that. At some point, I don't know where in lovely Denmark are you? Pray do tell. There you go. That's how that. But yeah, right. So you've written that, right? And so idiot British person me would look at that and say, okay, that's probably pronounced something along the lines of Copenhagen or something like that. But that's not how you actually say it, is it? My experience, my very minimal experience of the Danish language was basically just don't say any of the letters. Any of the letters that are written, you don't have to say those ones. Just you know, make sounds towards what's written. That was my impression. I'm being silly. It's late. Apologize if I'm being rude. It seems like a lovely language, but it's also one of the few languages that has more vowels than consonants. Madness. I don't mean in the writing system, I mean in the... Anyway, this is linguistics now, not miniature painting. Science Pie is off. It was lovely to have you as always, Science Pie, or to be had by you, really. I mean, this is Science Pie's event, not mine. Pleasure as always, Capitano. I'm only seeing one work in progress in the thing, but that's all right. We are going to have one more look at that before we sign off. And I'll see you next time, buddy. That was to Science Pie, by the way. But yes. Lovely Denmark. I know my husband wants to... There's lots of things. We visited... What's it called? The famous museum. We did go there, but we wanted to spend more time. That's an art gallery there. It's like a woman's name, it sounds like, to an English speaker like me. I don't know if that's what it actually is in Danish. Anyway, lots of reasons to go back to Denmark, and it shall be done. And good restaurants as well, right? Good food. Good beer. Good times. Shoop, shoop, shoop. Okay, so this is where I got to. I think we're on signing off time, just to warn you. So you know, it doesn't look that different to how it started, but there's a lot more definition going on. There's still plenty of work to do, but I like them. Yeah, it's going to take me an age to finish these bloody models, I can tell. But with a little bit of concerted effort, we'll get there. Yeah. That black lining kind of looks like reminiscent, I would say, of Scorch Marks, which is cool as well. Need to do a bit more work on that, add some gems and stuff. That'll really, when I add in the green gems, I think she's gonna really pop. Bit of shading on the metallics. Do something with those guns. I never know what to do with guns. I never quite know how detailed I should go. Anyway, and it'll look good. It'll look fine. Let's have a quick zoom over at the what's face. We have a teapot, apparently so-called teapot. This rather lovely looking. Oh man, I'm so jealous. I want one of these so bad. That's looking awesome. You have to tell us, Gil, what green paint it is that you're using. Alright. And Mr. Wild, Mrs. Wild, I beg your pardon, don't want to misgender people. The Wild is... Oh, so yes, because you were saying earlier that Ibrasil is your jam, and this is their colour, right? Is that right? Am I making things up? Our matriarchal ladies that we learnt about earlier? Lovely. Good progress, man. Loving it. Alright, okay, well, you don't want to see that, do you? You probably don't want to see this either, but I'm going to show it to you. Bam, 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 that's my face. It's been a pleasure, guys, as always. Thank you for giving me a very enjoyable Saturday. We will be here next month. I haven't made a final decision, but I don't think I've got any major plans for next month, so I'll speak to Science Pie and we'll work it out, but probably the 28th of May. Keep an eye out on Reddit, on the social medias. You'll see it. Have a great month. Enjoy painting elves and other assorted excellent things. Hang around in the chat for a bit because I will disappear, but I'll leave it open for a little bit so you can say your goodbyes, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.